Hello, everyone, and welcome to Play Dicely After Party. Whoop, whoop, whoop. My name is Christy, and I have with me today the wonderful cast of Play Dicely, and we're going to talk about two of our recent episodes, episode 26 and 27, Bugs and Hugs and Brulbar by Day. Before that, I'm going to throw it over to Teni.
I just quickly want to say the ambient music you're going to be hearing during this after party is thanks to Tabletop Audio, so thank you, Tim, for that. And back to you, Christy.
All hail Tim. Anyway, episode 26 began with us leaving Ganry behind and heading to Brulbar. And we also started discussing our next steps as a group. How are we feeling about the plan that we came up with, which is essentially after Brulbar, we're going to be going to the Rinzar Peaks and figuring out the druid stuff there. Yeah. Because I can say Nell is not happy about it.
Tell me more.
She didn't want to bring it up.
Wait, why?
I kind of mentioned this in our group chat, but I was saying like, we're walking awfully close to Varmhall Village, which is where Nell is from, and she is not ready to be there. It's just like she doesn't want to feel like, yeah, we're gonna have to like go around or do something because I'm gonna be really stressed out the entire time. Because I'm like, I don't have the answers yet, so I don't want to go back. Just like awkwardly, like.
We can go the other way though. We can go to Balesville, which it sounds like we want to do anyways.
Whose trauma do we want to deal with first?
Yeah. You know, Gideon's already done his. He's fine to do it again. Right?
Yeah. Are you ready for that?
Yeah, he's up for round 2.
And I guess, like, how do we think we're going to actually get into the mountains is the other question. I feel like it's going to be...
I mean, Drac came down, so theoretically, Drac can bring us back up.
Hopefully.
I think we have the best chance of getting up those mountains.
I literally know the way.
That's
so
true.
this
We gotta
means
keep Drac alive for another couple of episodes.
Yeah, the revivifies must be used on Drac.
I mean, hopefully it doesn't come to that. Because we got one diamond and a dream.
Oh my god.
And a scroll.
We do have a scroll.
Yeah.
A scroll.
Isn't there something about like the pass or something into your village
yeah,
everyone gets stuck
dicey.
in?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think Drac had issue finding his way out.
Why'd they do that? Why'd they make the path so dicey?
That's a good question.
They don't like visitors or something? Come on now.
I guess we also don't know like where specifically the thing is either, because it's not in your village. So.
Drac,
No, I think we would know. Or I mean, Drac wouldn't know, but someone there
Hopefully
probably does.
Some elders know some information.
We got heaps of elders.
I don't feel like your elders are really like
Elders for
talking that
days.
much, though. You know,
Yeah, I
like
don't know if I trust your elders, to be honest.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
I don't
something.
know if I trust my elders either.
We don't respect elders in this campaign. That's
Hell
for sure.
no. Get
As the
wrecked, Elwyn and Azaria.
600-year-old tree person.
Can confirm.
We respect 2 elders in this campaign.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, Drac's excited to go home.
Is he actually?
Yeah,
Okay.
he wants to
Do
see
you
his
think they're
mama.
gonna let you leave again?
I don't know.
Oh. Yeah. What
Do you
if
think
Drax
they
like
could
I'm actually good?
Stop us?
I mean,
Are they all
If,
martial people?
there's a whole wash of many different people of many different practices, I guess. So there's not really like a single thing that my village is good at.
Great.
Well,
Good for your
have lots
friends
of jobs.
dragons.
Yep.
maybe we could find that thing, like if there was like a portal or something into the like the Alumbrites whole situation.
Mm.
We could go and figure out what that big metal statue is of the dragon, if it's like relevant to your whole religion or not.
I don't think it is. Just kidding.
I really do.
Dragons? Yeah. Doesn't sound like me.
Dragons? Nah, dragons and dragons don't make sense together.
Where is the only place that didn't get hit by the desolation? That probably doesn't mean anything.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Drac worships a human god.
It's just some dude who has like 4 like paper mache heads attached to his shoulders.
Oh my god, it's kind of like the original like Godzilla kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Some guy.
Just worships some Big Lebowski looking guy.
Yeah.
I would love
Wizard
that.
of Oz. Looking
That's just
head
like
ass.
your opinion, man.
Yeah, your Tempest powers are actually just like bowling balls instead of thunder.
Guys, follow me around in the bushes throwing bowling balls.
Strike!
Good idea for like a next character. Maybe I'll write that one down just to...
Next character's just a Foley artist.
So fun. Not
Wow.
very useful, but so fun.
Spell components are just like big metal sheets and
That would make a great bard, actually.
That's what I
Yeah.
was thinking, like, kind of like, is there like an illusion-heavy bard or something like that? 'Cause I feel like,
Oh, I'm sure there are bards that can be.
okay.
We'd just be a production crew, Dice League 2.0.
Oh, what's the one?
that would be such a fun one-shot.
Is it like Bard of Whispers or what is it?
Oh,
There's a Whispers bard, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of
We're
like
just-
that element, but it's like them doing like all the behind-the-scenes practical effects.
there's like the chosen one character, and everyone else is just like backup artists and like just trying to make them look awesome.
Now this chosen one though is an NPC.
Yes,
Oh, for sure.
100%.
Oh, that's so fun.
Well, look forward to
I'd play the
campaign
shit out of
2
that.
coming to you in about 3 to 4 years' time.
Whenever the hell this finishes.
Yep.
Yeah.
How's everyone else feeling about going to the old Ringsar Peaks?
I'm super excited for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Well-
I personally want to go on the path that takes us closer to Varmhall because New Fugelby's there.
You can go
Gotta
to
go
New
there.
Fugelby
Pop into
later.
New Fugelby, then
Yeah.
go back around to Valesville.
What's happening in New Fugelby?
We don't know.
Oh,
It's cool,
But we
man.
gotta go.
It's new.
I don't see why we couldn't just go to the what is it?
Will to Glen
Why?
Wetlands.
Yeah. Fuck. We should just go there first. It's fine.
I mean,
Yeah.
we still have to go
Eventually,
the
too.
same way, don't we? Isn't it east
Yeah.
of the Rinsar
No,
Peaks?
is
we just-
very far.
There's not a road on the map, but there is a way we can just go north
If
and
you went
it'll
north
work out.
around, yeah.
Yeah.
That would
That's what I
take
originally
so
thought we were gonna
long,
do,
though.
was go north.
Yeah,
to
it would
the
take
Willigo
us
Wetlands
so
and
much
then
We get a
back
longer
down.
being
sky
off the
ship
road.
because they're super easy to come by and we make friends everywhere we go.
There's literally one on the Brulbar map, so we can just grab that one, right?
Yeah, no problem. We're definitely high enough status to be able to do that and have all of the money. So
Maybe
Map
after
renderings
the
are not
arena.
as reality as they appear.
No, it's drawn there. There must be a permanently installed airship.
Well, that, it can't move because it's always
So-
there.
Yeah, that's right.
alternatively, what you're saying, Danny, is that there is a road across that northern pass. It's just you forgot to add it.
Yes, I said
Anything's a
may.
road if you
There
try hard.
may not be as map intended.
Okay. Well, I'm willing to risk it if everyone else is. So
Yeah, let's go.
I mean, my vote is still just take the road because it's
Yeah, I
faster.
think I'm still
And
on
safer.
take the road.
no.
I
Not
would
that
also
there's
like the road.
any way you can convince me of like, let's take much longer and much more dangerous route.
And also a path that Drac doesn't know to get up to the mountains because we'd be coming in from the north and he came in from the south.
Fine.
Seems worth,
Yes.
honestly.
Maybe this
Uh-huh.
time we would actually remember to ask the druids to just kind of teleport us to the next one. You know?
Hmm.
We did ask them.
Oh, we did.
and then we had,
We had
our
a
horses.
debate about it.
We had a
Yeah.
whole talk about this.
Right.
We didn't want to leave poor Jeevy behind.
It would
Yeah.
literally be so well taken care of.
Yeah, probably.
Just
I don't
saying,
know.
if we fail, they die. Doesn't matter how long it took us, they die.
That's fair.
Wow, that's
Yep.
a really great way to look at it. You're so right.
Cannot fail for the horse's sake.
That's
Save
great.
the horses, save the world.
I actually
For the
was needing
horses, at least
motivation.
one of us must live.
Yeah, I needed motivation to see this whole thing through, so I guess that's a pretty good one. Because I was just gonna like fuck off and do something else. So moving on. I feel like this was what happened next. Was the conversation between Elwyn and Gideon about Elwyn like not wanting to release a demon upon the world for some reason.
Weird, right?
yeah, so you got pretty heavy if you guys want to talk about that a little bit. But I also am a little bit curious about why Elwyn wanted to bring this issue to Gideon specifically.
Yeah. I thought a lot about who I wanted to have that conversation with. And I think part of it was a little meta-gamey because I feel like Nell and Azaria I've had a lot of one-on-one conversations with. So in my mind, I was like, we're not going to do them. Try to develop a different relationship. And I feel like Elwyn and Gideon's friendship has been super strong recently. I feel like Gideon and Elwyn have a lot of like commonalities. It's like we did really good in that magic contest, and then we were both the people who were like, I don't know about that dragon thing. And I think we're also, correct me if I'm wrong, but we're the only two that never put that bracelet on as well.
That's
so I'm
correct,
like, I feel like Elwyn and Gideon are pretty tight, and so you seemed like the obvious choice.
Put on our own bracelet with blackjack and hookers.
Exactly. We're gonna go do our own thing over here.
Just to say that we were so fucked up if you guys just went and made friendship
made
bracelets.
Our own bracelets.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's of our team name from the
so
magic
funny.
contest. One's very business oriented and one's very intellect oriented. Yeah.
You guys, you're the only two that are partially human as well, right?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
So
That's not a connection I made, but yeah.
Full human.
Humans are better than all the other races. I got it.
I don't think that's how I think, but okay.
No,
No,
that's fine. I'm reading between the lines. and I see what you're
Elwyn's
talking about.
fantasy racism is showing.
Yeah. But no, I debated a lot about who to have that conversation with, and I was glad I had it with Gideon. Although I don't think you acted the way I expected you to act, which
What
was
were you
good.
expecting?
I was expecting you to be like, "Don't fucking do it," but you were like, "Yeah, for sure, go release that devil." Like, God damn it, that's actually not what I need to hear.
Yep. Yep.
Like Gideon's like the epitome of that friend who it's like, what's that little saying? It's like a best friend will be in jail with you or something.
Yeah. Me and you at the end of the world when I've released this devil, it destroys everything.
It's like, well, at least I helped.
Lifting some of the curtain here too. Like, I really love this campaign because like every once in a while one of you guys will come to me with like your thoughts, what your character's going through, and I like just love talking it through with you guys. And Dallas had this big conversation with me on this, and just like a therapist, I was like,
It was very much a
like-
therapy session.
and I was just like, is Ellen going to talk to anybody about this? And I wonder if that might have spurred this conversation, but I'm really glad that Elwyn did.
I had just so many thoughts that I was like, I have so many feelings outside of this game that I really feel like I need to put into the game somehow, because I truly was going mad for 2 weeks,
Well,
and still am.
I
So
feel
I
like
felt
that's
like I had
what
to put it back in
Ellen.
a little bit.
I feel like that's what Ellen goes through, like on the daily basis.
Yeah. So I just
So-
felt like it needed to be played out a little bit.
If your new reference art is anything to go off of, the eyes on that are just like,
Oh my god,
So
when I
sad.
saw that art, I truly had to put my phone down and I was just like, what have I done? What have I done to this character that Teni
did
drew
you
her
tell
eyes
Teni
like
to
that?
make her look like severely worried?
I think I did tell him because you asked me like what's her mental state and I was like, it's bad, Teni. It's always bad. It's really bad. And then that's how you took it. I'm like, oh god. Everyone else
looks
is
great.
cool
Good job,
armor
Teni.
and Elwyn's just dying. Woof.
It looks like Elwyn has seen some shit in that
She
art.
has.
I mean, it's true, right? Like, God, it's been centuries of dealing with this, so I get it.
Hold
A
on, I better
haunted
bring this up
child.
just in case people out of context don't understand. Let's
I was
just pop that onto the screen. There we go.
Poor
There's,
girl.
there's a sad
Oh my
Elwyn.
god.
I feel like it should be a thing now whenever we go to like new places and people are always just like, oh, hey, little girl, you can't drink or whatever. I just want them to be like, oh, hey, little girl. And then you look over at them and they're like, fuck, no.
Oh shit.
They're like, yeah, you're so fucking haunted. Okay.
Just make your eyes glow green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you have like permanent, like super deep bags in your eyes. You're like, that's no child. No child. Like,
no child has seen this. Yeah. No,
I,
it's bad times.
To jump back a bit, I was also very like shocked that you had that conversation with Gideon, but after you sort of saying like that, how their friendship has been developing. Like I've had that thought as well. I was like, yeah, Gideon is definitely feels like Elwyn is someone he can like chat with now, whereas before that was not the case. And I think that like him going through what he's been through, and like sort of the path he's on now to like doing better, was like sort of what spurred his reaction to your sort of, I guess, problem. Because he's like, I didn't think I was gonna get over this at all. So, you know, it's a little bit piece by piece by piece, obviously, and it's gonna get worse before it gets better, but it'll get better, and that's sort of Gideon's mindset right now. But we'll see how she goes.
We can hope. We can only
Will it
hope.
get better if a devil takes over the world and kills us all?
Maybe he'll just die. I don't know.
That might be easier.
Or Gideon.
Gideon.
Everyone.
Oh, okay. Maybe we'll all just die, and that'd just be way easier.
Yeah.
Campaign 2, then we all get to come back as demons and devils.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
In the world that our characters have
actually be really
screwed over.
There you go.
Like,
I'm
I feel
just
like a lot
setting
of
it up
the-
for next campaign.
yeah, a lot of situations that we find ourselves in would be literally like wouldn't exist if we just could be devils and demons, because we're just constantly being like, the morals and all that stuff. So it'll be
Yeah.
fun.
I mean, some devils do follow laws, so
That's true.
Yeah, they're
But
usually
it-
lawful evil if they're devils.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm just thinking the one I'm specifically going to play, I have made up my own specific laws and I'm just following those. And-
Right. I think that's the loophole here, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Law
So I'm
is
like,
that
I don't
there's
have
no
any
rules.
moral considerations.
code is more like guidelines, really.
You're just a pirate. You're a pirate devil.
Hell yeah.
I'm curious. I don't know if this is a better conversation to have in game or not, but I'm curious if I had had that conversation with the other party members, like if I had gone to anyone else and been like, should I do this? How many people would have said yes or no? Or is that better to
Um,
talk about in game?
Bring it up in
Maybe in game.
as well.
Oh, damn.
I know.
think,
I,
like-
I think it
I'm
needs
not
to
going
be
to
an
ask
in-
you all in game. Is the
Mm.
thing.
Well, I mean, you especially want to be the one that has more group conversations, right?
That's
Which
true.
I do agree with. It makes sense that we shouldn't just be like, no one knows all of the information. But,
Yeah.
On the topic of group conversation, this is kind of a side, like totally off, kind of on topic. Like, you know, in like the Mario Party games when you could like be on a team and they like give you a team name based on who you've partnered with. Like,
No.
I've started to do, well, that's the case. I've started to do that with some of the cast, and like Abe and Elwyn are like team sideline contests. Like Ryan and Dallas
Yeah.
are like team humans.
do I have a
like-
team name with anyone? I want
I'm
one.
still developing all these.
You're the Phoenix and the Beast. What are the
Oh, yeah.
Slayer?
Yeah.
Casual.
Yep. Well,
That's
Battle
really cool.
buddies.
that might battle buddies. Yeah, that
Oh,
well, that
that's
name might
cute.
change as Adam has expressed a possible different name.
Oh.
We'll
Oh my
we'll
gosh.
see.
Okay. I'm gonna hold that
We'll
thought
get
for
there.
later because
Yeah.
I'm really curious. Okay, gang. So we also had a pretty exciting level up this episode. So everyone hit level 7. And we all had kind of, except for me, had a moment of role playing to level up. I waited until the next episode. Yeah. I'm gonna just cover like kind of like the things that we hit and then just hit my microphone and then talk about just like kind of our role play overall. So we had Azaria's first level of Druid. Which is
So exciting.
So
Um,
exciting.
So yeah, look, if you want to talk a little bit about what that was like in character and out, and then also you pulled Drac in. Well, why did I roll that? You pulled Drac into that moment as well, and so same question for you: why did you pick Drac to be in that?
Oh.
Just
I
wondering.
picked-
Everyone's picking all these other people. Sorry.
Why didn't you pick now?
Why did you pick that?
I don't know. I feel
That's
like
really what she's asking.
Well, I feel like there was this like moment where like, especially because like seeing like there was like this moment where I kind of like earlier had been annoyed with Drac, like when he like kind of screwed up the sneaky plan. But then seeing that we both had a very similar kind of like Drax's reaction to the way Nell was in the water temple was very much how Ria was feeling in that moment.
Okay,
So I felt
you're
like there was
not
just like
include me, but you're gonna drag my name. I see how it is. Okay, it's fine.
you were included through both of us being like,
I'm
can we
sorry.
just take this seriously?
Wow. Okay.
But no, it was also just a thematic thing because it was raining outside,
Hmm.
and Drax spends a lot of time in thunderstorms and stuff. I was like, feels
Naked
like
in
the
the rain.
person to take, as I can show off that I can stop the rain from hitting me. Yeah, I didn't know how exactly it was going to manifest in the session. Like Denny had kind of given like there is an idea of what's to come, because I think I was like, I don't know how this is coming up. I'm leaving this in your hands. Which I thought was like such a cool way, this idea that like the druid language is kind of everywhere, and like suddenly I was able to start picking up on it. It was so cool. I think I had like been like, I knew that my idea was that my spells were going to come from later parts of my dad's book that I wasn't able to read until then, but apart from that, I didn't know exactly how things were going to unwind with that.
Yeah, it's so cool. It's like adds such an element of the world being kind of alive that this all of a sudden you're tapped into everything. I can't wait to see how that like continues to play out in future episodes.
Mhm.
Who's next? Elwyn and Layla had a nice conversation, and Elwyn learned that her foresight abilities are just there.
Sure. Why don't
I
we
don't
just
know
throw
why.
more shit on me, right? You know, it's fine. It's cool. It's fine. I don't need it. I'm sure that's not some devil in me as well, giving me foresight abilities. That'll be fine. It'll be fun when I learn that.
Yeah, but like, what are you thinking it could be? Because I mean, you just said it might be devil related, but this one has like the color that you associate with yourself, right? And also, why would the devil want you to know things that are going to happen?
Yeah, I don't know. And the only other thing I think it could be is like some sort of hereditary thing. I don't think my mom could do this, but I never knew my dad. It's weird that never came up though. But I don't know where else this would have come from at all.
Oh, that is
That's
interesting.
This is just my only shot.
I guess like, did your mom not really talk about kind of your dad that much?
I mean, I guess we can say that she didn't because I don't know much about him.
Maybe it was too emotional or something.
Yeah, I think
Interesting.
that makes sense. But yeah, no, I really, I don't know, and I feel like I have so many other things I'm thinking about that we're like, sure, you know what, it's fine. We can see the future, and we're just gonna deal with that for now.
We'll table that for the next meeting.
Yeah, well, it's fine. I think I like Layla
sometimes-
again, though.
Oh,
I can come back around on her.
you don't think she's in cahoots with this Lord of all devils or whatever?
No. Ah, fine.
That was a quick turnaround. I'm surprised by that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess like pick your poison, kind of like release a devil or help this thing become a god. Yeah.
Who even knows if that's really what she's trying to do, though, right? And would that be
Yeah.
so bad? She's cool. She can be a god. That's fine.
Right. Not at all terrifying. Who's next? Drac, you went outside and purposely got struck by lightning.
I did.
Yeah, cool. What was that moment like?
Fucking neat, by the way.
Yeah, it was fun. Me and Denny kind of like talked about some options, what could happen, and I think that one was like pretty much the coolest way to get it done. I love the reflective questions. In retrospect, I should have had you send me them beforehand so I could think of my answers, but
Nah,
Oh, well.
dude. I wanted to know where the balance was.
okay, I see. But yeah, it was very fun. Striking myself with lightning is probably not something I'll do again because that hurt a lot, even with resistance.
How much
But-
was it? Like, how much damage was it?
It was like 20 something, but I reduced it, so
You can do that a couple times.
yeah, we
That's
could.
nothing. It's fine.
I was going to keep doing it basically until I was able to maintain my balance, but I got it on the first try, so worked out.
Well, I'm happy for you. What level was this for you? Was this cleric?
Yeah, I took my 5th level in cleric so I could have 3rd level spells.
Sweet.
Yeah. So I can bring people back from the dead now.
That's a good place for you to
Oh,
be.
you can
yeah.
do
Yeah.
Revivify now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Do I still need to be holding on to the scroll?
I think you
I mean,
should
it
in
doesn't
case
hurt
he
to
goes
have 2
down.
Yeah.
people.
Because you can use the scroll just as is.
Yeah, it's just a
Everyone
lot
else
of
has to roll
pressure.
to use it. Yeah. Well,
It's like, it's fine, I guess. Okay, who's next? Gideon, you had a creepy dream, as you're wont to do. I guess this one wasn't creepy. This was actually kind of okay.
So it was kind of nice, actually.
Yeah, so talk a little bit about, perhaps, if this isn't fake, we don't know, the origins of your magic and a little bit about your soul scar, and the fact that you and Patience used to just hang out all the time. So I was gonna ask like how Gideon's doing, but I think we all know he's not doing well. Because he kind of like references them.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's doing better than he was before. He's still not great though. You know. I mean, he's happy to know that his friend's alive.
Oh, that's true.
Um,
You had your conversation with Monty, which was exciting.
Yeah. As short as it was, yeah. It was just like, it's a double-edged sword, because like, yay, he's alive, but like, is he involved in all the bullcrap? You know, like, that
It's
happiness was there, but then immediately disappeared. Just like,
It's so funny to me for Gideon. Like I feel like every single person you talk to, it's like, how are they involved?
yeah,
Which, like, I understand. Like we're obviously like have no idea, but
yeah.
it does make me laugh. And then Dallas kind of covered this in the recap, but I'm curious to know, like, kind of maybe what you think specifically about whether or not Patience actually remembers who like you are, or does she just have some sort of foresight capabilities? Because when you left and then came back, like she was expecting you. Just yeah.
Oh, that's a fair point. I don't know. That's a coin flip, in my opinion. Either she doesn't remember any of it, and that foresight ability just had her see me introduce myself, or she remembers everything, and this whole patience thing is a means of hiding herself from someone or something. And I don't know.
Yeah. Is there other theory, right? Wasn't it that she could be Elia Hume?
Elia Hume, yeah.
Hume? This is a bit more meta, but did your previous character have any magic, or do you know anything about like Elia having magic?
My previous character had a little bit of magic.
Okay.
About the same amount as Gideon, actually. Like 1-2 spells. He had the Find Familiar spell, which he used all the time.
And which was actually granted to him through a magical item, if I'm not mistaken. A ring,
no,
I believe.
Is there a ring
don't-
of Find Familiar?
I don't remember how he had Find Familiar. I don't remember the build for Miles, but yeah, he definitely had Find Familiar because he had a pet Almiraj, which is a rabbit with a unicorn horn.
Right. Okay.
Which is adorable. You should Google it. And basically, he had Message. I remember that. And I think that was it. I think he had maybe one more cantrip, but maybe Prestidigitation. But that would have been it. Other than
I
that,
guess-
he was just a rogue.
Interesting. So there's a chance then that Elia could have magic. I mean, it doesn't have to
Oh.
be associated with Miles, but
Last campaign, Elia definitely had signs of magic. 100%.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if you had actually like she was in the previous campaign or not.
She was, yeah. She definitely showed a lot of potential connection with magic and had weird visions and stuff. So like the whole
She had
foresight
weird
thing.
visions. Ryan.
Yeah.
So she could have foresight stuff then.
She could have foresight stuff. Yeah.
Not that Gideon would know this, but you're just like, oh yeah, maybe.
Oh, now that you mention it.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure. I've been thinking Patience has been here for some time now, but I'm just like,
I think that, yeah, I feel like
Come
it's
on.
all but confirmed at this point.
just
isn't it?
tell me, Teni.
Yeah, it seems likely to me because it's, I don't know. Otherwise, it's just like, who the hell is she? Just some random person. I guess it could just be random people, but why? Why would there be?
Although
Why would it be a random person?
Most
Miles,
of the people we meet are just random people.
But are they?
But yeah, are they though? We don't know.
Miles would be rolling in his grave if he knew that his daughter was a bounty hunter. He did everything in his power to keep her away from that.
And maybe that's exactly
He
what
even
drove her to
retired.
it.
He retired and then he lived with his family. But whenever he was doing bounty hunter stuff, he was like, my family doesn't use my last name. Like everything was to keep them away from his work because he didn't want them getting involved in any way at all.
She already has familiarity with using a different name.
Yep.
Interesting.
So
All
Pieces are
coming
really
together.
coming together, yeah.
it's all coming together.
Hmm.
But yeah, no, Elia is super cool. If Patience is Elia, I'm gonna be like, fuck, what happened to you?
Oh no.
Well, I can't wait to
I'm
see,
sad dead dad hours right now, dude.
Man, that's one of the like super interesting things I think of like having been in the previous campaign, like that you get that kind of fucked up like dichotomy of if eventually you have a moment where Patience is having a monologue about how she's actually Elia, then you can have a moment of being like, wow, this is really relevant to the current character I'm playing, and also causing a lot of emotional turmoil for my previous one.
Yep.
Sounds fun.
Don't know how the afterlife works in your universe, Teni, but if Miles is watching from anywhere, he's like, what the fuck?
Gideon just gets possessed by Miles.
Who did this? Oh, he's gonna rogue his way out of heaven or wherever he is. Gonna just use that stroke of luck
Assuming
ability.
He got to heaven.
He's gonna use stroke of luck to get out of hell. And he's gonna find whoever made his daughter not remember who she is.
Hey, I got a demon we can talk to.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah. I look forward to it. All right, and then the last level up was another dream that Abe had. This one was better, I would say, than the previous ones. So this one is about who you were before being an Argon folk, and whoever that was apparently very brave. And now all of a sudden you feel the need to be more charismatic, which I'm excited to see.
Yeah. Well, it's that my wisdom imparts my ability to like be charismatic. You know, I guess, I don't know. It's difficult to find how you would roleplay levels up for martial classes.
That's fair.
Yeah,
I think
I
this
bought a
was a
gun.
good way. I think it's a good way of doing it though, because then it also leads to more interesting questions about kind of like your character's growth as well. Because like, originally, I guess in game, I think we had thought that, or you had thought that Abe was like a fragment of a soul or something, and not like actually, like a true like inhabitor. But now it seems like, oh, like there was someone like before all of the chosen stuff. So I'm really
There was a
curious to see.
possessor.
Oh, that's right. Oh my god, there's so many terms. You made it so the Malvin stuff doesn't matter anymore, and I forgot all of the terms.
Yeah, you just purge it. Just get rid of it.
I was like, fine, it doesn't matter. It's gone.
We'll never see them again.
No.
Never see the Malden crew ever again.
Yeah, they're just gonna let us all live our good, fine lives.
Yep.
We didn't like murder their prophet or anything like that. That's fine.
I mean, you guys didn't. Well, I guess kind of Elwyn did.
Emotionally, they did.
Wait,
That's true.
wait. Oh wait, no, your green eye stuff happened beforehand, right? Before
Even,
the...
like just before. Yeah, we switched.
Mhm. That's true. Interesting. I was gonna say all of a sudden now you
Elwyn's the chosen one.
yeah, you have a third.
I don't need another
personality.
thing.
Next session, she wakes up just with a memo. They're worthy.
Oh, fuck. It's okay, you can take me. What am I gonna do?
That's true. It'd be really funny to be like, okay, go reap the soul, and you're just like, okay,
Alrighty.
I got it.
Take my dagger.
Oh, I really want to see Elowen rage. It's so funny. Cool. Yeah. How is Abe feeling, or yourself, about kind of figuring out this part of you?
I as a player am very like the metagame knowledge of thinking, like obviously the emphasis was on him being very brave, and there was an entire like upper echelon of society that was called the Brave as their title. So my theory is that Abe was Pascalis the Brave, but then Pascalis the Brave died after the crystal was made. So how does that work? But I think he probably died in about the same geographical area that Abe did. So I'm like, maybe there was a weird like body snatch kind of thing going on there.
Oh, interesting.
Is my theory. Looking at Teni while I say that.
But there were other Braves? Wasn't just Pascalis?
It was like a title.
Okay.
But
So then after he died, there was a dwarf.
was the title of Brave only used after Pascalis died?
I don't know.
Danny?
All right, a little bit of a lore dive here. So
Yeah, can
when
we?
when the
Go into very
desolation
specific detail.
when the desolation began and like all of civilization fled underground to flee the Dracan conglomerate and their armies, Pascalis the Brave died, kind of covering the escape for everybody to get underground, and the barrier mouth was sealed up with magic, preventing the Dracan armies from following them underground. The society that was then built was led by one of the last human kings from the far south until they died, at which point that governing society replaced themselves with three leaders: the brave, the learned, and the devout. So there have been many braves that led this the underground settlement of Starshire over that 250 years. The learned and the devout, however, saw very little change because Kardrak was a long-lived dwarf, and Faye Applebutter had a similar situation until she died and her apprentice took over. But many people filled that role of the brave, and that was kind of the pillar structure of their new society.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So there's other options, but I guess like that soul had to have been in the crystal, or did souls go into the crystal after?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember,
Oh.
like, when... Yeah, I guess we don't... And, like, honestly, anything could have really happened, too, because some funky stuff was happening up there, and if it's all due to the Umbrites, maybe they have a different, play with time than everyone else does, so... I don't know. The whole Lumbrite thing I want to learn more about. I just feel like it's like so far in the back burner now compared to everything else.
There's so many things. You keep bringing stuff up, and I'm like, oh, I forgot. That's a whole arm of
Denny's
information.
web of
I
lore
know.
is massive.
Yeah.
I forget about the alumbrites because there's so many things until someone brings it up. I was like, oh yeah, shit, there's all that stuff too.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think it's interesting in the weirdest way. Like, obviously, I wonder. I'm trying to psychoanalyze myself at the same time. The druid thing is obviously very important, and yet I don't really feel as called to try and figure it out. And I feel like it's almost like you're supposed to do this. I'm like, no, I want to go do all the other stuff. So I'm just like, I'm so curious about all the other things that are going on. But that's okay because the rest of you are more concerned about the druid stuff. So I'll always be there along for the ride.
I'm concerned about the very definite. Yeah, you've got maybe 2 or 3 years to figure this out. You'll know when the stars start disappearing that shit's about to hit the fan.
You really
Got
gotta move.
way less than that. Logan.
Yeah, I don't think at any
Yeah.
point
No.
we were in years. I think we at most maybe have 6
to
months.
maybe a year.
I think that's once the stars disappear.
I think
Yeah.
once the stars
Which they
disappear, it's 3
haven't.
months.
Yeah, I think we don't know anything until the stars actually disappear.
I feel like we're gonna learn we can learn some stuff about the Alumbrites in Darokarth. I feel like there's probably some like hidden scriptures somewhere that talk about them or whatever.
All right, well, that's going to be what I'm getting up to. Everyone else is doing other things.
I almost imagine that like we'll find, just like with how much like all the little like everything's have been connected, that we'll find some connection at the Druid Temple there.
I hope so.
Especially if they have some giant metal dragon god that might be your god, that might be my god.
Yeah, who knows?
Like...
But you don't have a... Does Rhea have a god?
I have like multiple.
I mean, one of the druid
Vishti
gods is Vishti.
Is a druid god.
Oh.
Of
Their
hair.
temple is in the Rinzar Peaks.
Oh shit! Oh my god! I did not piece that together. Okay, we need to update the group lore doc because I'm falling behind.
Conspiracy doc?
Yeah, the conspiracy doc. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh yeah, I forgot. We're gonna talk about just the level up role play in general. What is it like for everyone to begin a campaign where we put so much emphasis on role playing the level ups? And do you find that it causes you to think more about certain elements of the gameplay that maybe normally you wouldn't?
I really like that we do it. I think I've said this before, that I don't think I've ever done this in D&D before. So it's really interesting it does make you think about it slightly differently. But I think it kind of like, it's one of those things where it's like, when I'm like leveling up a character, I'm not necessarily thinking about it in like a roleplay perspective. I am just like, all right, what is like the right choice here? And then later you have to figure out how to justify the choices you've made for a character.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. As mostly being a DM, like I've tried in the past to like weave a level up into the story, but it's not always possible, and if the player's not into it, you can't force it on them. But I love that all of us have kind of embraced this and just kind of rolled with it, and I definitely think it makes our characters more interesting and deep.
I feel like for me, this is the first level up that I actually have had, because like as like Adam was saying, it's like as a martial class, it's very hard to figure it out. And most of mine, all mine before were in a martial class. So it's like the thing Rhea already did, they're just doing slightly better. This was the first one where it really came out. I was like, oh yeah, shit. Things and choices have made this happen now. So super cool on that. Yeah, definitely not something that I've ever think similar to like what Dallas would say. Usually I just like pick something and then it's like, okay, how does this make sense for my character now?
What about you, Ryan?
It is very difficult. Nope.
Just jump over Adam.
Not interested.
Hey, I usually go last, Adam. Welcome to the club, baby.
I didn't see it in time, and I was trying to get everyone to be included. So sorry.
Well, all right, Adam. You go ahead, man.
That's pretty cool.
No, I believe I said I wanted Ryan to go next. So, Adam, you can wait your turn.
All right, I'll go. As Adam said, it is hard to roleplay leveling up a martial class. Although, with how I've built Gideon, I feel like I get to roleplay his level ups every like 2 levels.
All right.
Because I get my feats, and sort of how I'm flavoring his feats gives me the opportunity to sort of do that. What is it? Yeah, this one, the reason why Gideon bought a gun is because he's getting quicker at drawing his weapons out and flipping them back into its holster, and he's at the point now where he can do it pretty consistently. So he's like, I need another one-handed gun. So what better one-handed gun than a sawed-off shotgun? The answer...
Classically one-handed.
Classically one-handed. Yeah, you know. Violence is not the answer. It is a question, and the answer is yes. Sawed-off shotgun. That is all.
And the answer is a shotgun.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so I personally... Adam, go ahead.
Literally all I'm going to say is everyone else has said the same thing, and just ditto.
You said the same thing.
And you had to make such a big deal about it. Wow. Okay.
You skipped over
You're the
it.
one making a big deal.
All right, Mr. Stand up and walked away from the camera.
Don't bully my
called?
mans.
Presentation.
Oh,
Nailed it.
I'm familiar.
Abe might be a fighter, but Adam is a bard.
A really bad one that doesn't read his rules.
Yeah, I'll talk about my level up roleplay when I get to it. So, moving on.
Wait, what about Denny? Is it different for you? Like, have you done this with players before?
I don't think specifically like I've ever like particularly implemented it into a campaign before. It's always been more of a player thing I've done. Like I like to allow the mechanics to kind of influence my roleplay, but similar to what you were saying, Dallas, like I'm not like I have to make this choice because of the flavor or whatever. I'm kind of like, well, I still want to play this thing, so what's going to be fun? And then justifying it later. And yeah, I feel like it's always made for interesting characters like Theodore Ray, who was a 10 levels in fighter gunslinger and 10 levels in alchemist. Like when we started that campaign, I was like, though I'm leveling up with you guys, I was like, I'm secretly an experienced gunslinger, and every level is just me revealing a little bit more of my capabilities. But once I got to level 10 and started taking Artificer, I was like, now this is where I'm actually learning new skills. Like, I was a bad Artificer until now, and now I'm learning to create magical items and understand the arcane. And yeah, I just always thought it was a fun thing to kind of reinforce my own roleplay.
Mm-hmm. Also, with I guess with this character, I had like the build sort of planned out, and I've had like a bunch of feats I want to take, and then basing on whatever happened in the campaign, I was like, okay, let's take that one for now because that's how he's feeling. Because you know his cook checks were just out of this world. I didn't need to take chef, but because people were dying and we were suffering in combat, I took sharpshooter. So you know, whatever he needed to work on is the feat I would take.
I really envy all of these feats that you're getting to take.
That's okay. I don't do anything else.
I dream about taking feats.
You gotta be getting close now, right?
I'm a fighter.
No.
Okay.
I feel like it was this last one I just got like an ability score.
You took an ASI, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
well.
Yep.
So,
FID, you are a fighter.
It's fine. Okay. We're moving on from this now. We finally stop at Dan the Paladin's farm. And he's not there, of course, because why would he be?
Because he's dead in the farmhouse.
Because Otham killed him.
Yeah, Denny actually went to go ask Nick if he wanted to play Danny. He said, "Fuck you, Denny," and Denny was like, "Oh God, that was not what I expected."
He's like, fine, your character's dead. Yeah, the supposed farm ham is super struggling to wrangle a bunch of bugs. So we help him and then agree to take them to Brulbar. And we make plans to stop again on the way back, and hopefully Dan will be there. Probably not, but we'll see. He gives us a silver dragon scale, which was something I just thought of. What color were the dragons that attacked?
Green.
Green.
They were all green?
Green.
Oh, sorry. That attacked originally?
Yeah, that like
Desolation.
Multicolored, right?
All the
Yeah, there was
dragons.
like a black one. There was a green one, a red one.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
in this world,
chromatic.
we've got dragons beyond like the normal metallic and chromatic. Like there was a red dragon, there was a black dragon, but there was also a sea dragon and a cave dragon, which are more like a blue and a brown.
Oh, okay.
I didn't even know about a cave dragon. Does it look more like a worm?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
It has no eyes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I think I know which one you used. They're very creepy.
Oh yeah.
Me like very much.
And then super casually, Otham was wanting to spar with Drac, and he tells us that he was trained by a group of cinder monks that live in the cavern. How do you say it, Teni?
Kuvirin?
Fuck me.
Yeah, Kaviran. That's right.
Kaviran Mountains. Okay.
Totally not the Shankarai.
Yeah, for sure. Totally not suspicious that he was just like, I'm a really cool, good monk on the same day that we get attacked by a bunch of other monks. That's
With
fine.
legendary resistances,
With a
no big deal.
legendary resistance.
Yeah.
God damn.
But before we get to that, how did
And
Drac
yet,
feel?
he's terrible at wrangling bugs.
Yeah. Why doesn't he just like stun the bugs?
Brained by gangsters.
Stunning strike a bug.
Because
Why
he
not?
needed
I
to distract us from
imagine
the
the
smell of the
lowest
dead
amount
body.
of damage he could do to that bug would kill it.
Yeah.
He goes to just like knock it out, and it's just like bug juice everywhere.
Just shatters its exoskeleton.
I love the onomatopoeia there. That was great.
But yeah, how did Drac feel about getting to just have this like random little spar with another monk, especially one who had kind of such a uniquely different skill set to the one that you have?
Yeah. I was definitely taken off guard. I was like, whoa, what? Why is this guy so interested in me? This is weird. But then it was like, okay, sure. This sounds like a fun little situation. Why not? Yeah, I didn't expect him to wipe the floor with me as hard as he did, but I didn't even get a single punch in, which is very sad. But his
You
armor
stayed
class,
standing.
I survived. His armor class must have been like 20 at least.
He's a sizable man.
Yeah. Oh, thick, as you put it, Ryan.
Thick. Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. He had the elemental powers, which was very cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's weird now because like skipping ahead when we were in Brulbar, the owner of the farm there was like, yeah, he's worked there for 5 years. So
And yeah, so I don't know.
it could just be a coincidence, but
He did. The guy at the farm did say that Otham hasn't always been super reliable or super good, right?
Yeah.
I think he said he's always been bad at wrangling
Unless they're in cahoots.
bugs or something. So like he's not normally like he wouldn't do the deliveries normally. I think like they had someone else who did it.
Yeah, I think
But
I
then
think
what was
Otham
it-
said that at the farm.
What was his job beforehand? If it clearly wasn't like bug involved.
Communication, maybe, or
Marketing.
He's their brand ambassador.
He's just like the hired arm at the farm just to protect everything.
Oh, that
Yes,
would actually
could
make more sense than anything else that's happened so far. But
yeah, their like delivery guy was retired, right? So
I guess because Dan was a pacifist, he just was like, I need someone who's willing to beat up people.
oh,
So maybe that was the way.
okay. Well, I guess we'll see what happens there. Next time we appear at the farm, we just get ambushed by a bunch of
Cinder monks
I
instead of
fully
Shankarai.
believe that is someone impersonating Otham, and both Otham and Dan are dead in that house. That's what I believe. That's my theory. It's my crack theory.
I'm gonna say we can check when we are on the way back. But
On the way back, we
could
will.
have buried them by then, you know.
Yeah.
It would make no sense for us to immediately be like, let's go into your house.
Excuse me.
But anyway. Yeah, so we continue on towards Brulbar, but we're now accompanied by our new BBFs, or Best Bug Friends gang.
Cute.
Forever.
BFFs?
BBFFs. Yeah. Nell and Azaria take the first watch, and we talk a little bit about like the relationship between your parents, which was really interesting to learn a bit more about like why that void, like why they needed to use the void in conceiving you. So that was really interesting. I don't really have anything else to say to that, but just that I thought it was cool. So. And then before we all go to bed, Elowen sets up alarm spells around the camp, which I thought was super dope. Did you just get access to that spell, or?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cast ritual spells now.
Hell yeah. Yeah, so that was turns out super necessary because a random farmhand shows up and is like, hey, I'm having some problems. But the problem was that they were actually Sarze.
I hear that's a problem a lot of farmhands have.
Yeah.
Oops, I'm Sarze.
Wake up and you're Sarze.
I wish.
Yeah, honestly.
Well, what if she could take over people's bodies and just like transform them into her, and she's everywhere, and that's why she knows where we are?
She's Agent Smith.
That would be...
It's like that. Oh, what's that with that? That was like some old like Flash animation where everyone was Agent Smith. Oh, it's like from like Newgrounds or something back in the day.
Oh man, I haven't been on Newgrounds in forever.
I cannot help you there.
No one has.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then we get into this battle with the Shankarai and Sarze. Did anyone use any like new level up abilities during this fight? What kind of stuff? You did healing
Yeah,
word,
Zarya freaking killed it.
Healing word
Zarya's
Gideon
so
back
cool.
up. It's like no one's dying.
Healing word Gideon turned around and shot the last guy in the back of the neck. That was the coolest turn you've ever taken.
Because I forgot,
most
healing
confident.
word is a bonus action, so I did something after that. For me, the most important part was just getting Gideon up. That's what I remember. Yeah, and then I shot the guy in the back of the throat.
Pretty
That was
metal.
awesome.
Yeah.
I got to use quick draw a lot.
You got to use all your.
Switching weapons.
Yeah, that was sweet. Adam used his new ability of just holding someone down for a whole fight, which was honestly huge.
It
So-
was huge.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was...
weird. I've had that ability the whole time. It's just,
And you haven't been doing it?
I just remembered that I have it.
Oh, and be sure I will be paying close attention to the grapple rules moving forward. Did you know that there is no advantage or disadvantage granted on attack rolls when you're grappled?
That is correct.
Yeah.
Really?
Makes sense.
Were you giving him advantage?
I think
Uh,
we were giving Sarz a disadvantage and Adam advantage, maybe? I don't know. But
I think they
because
I thought they
because
both
he
had
proned
whatever.
her, right?
they might have both had disadvantage too.
Yeah, I think.
Oh well.
We
Interesting.
make rule calls on the fly.
Yeah. Also, it was still a pretty close fight, so
Yeah, we needed all the help
It
we
was
could
tight.
get there.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've been so nervous in a fight since Logan killed my character.
Yeah.
What?
in our home game.
Oh.
That was the last time that I felt such despair in a fight.
Yeah, I found this one hard because I guess I'm not strategic enough because I was trying to figure out how to actually, because this is the first one I really got to use meta magic during. It's fucking hard to figure out what to do if you can quicken spell. I was like, what is the best thing to do here? And it was really difficult to try and figure out like whether or not to attack or do other things. I like ripped through all of my spell slots during that, so that was difficult for sure.
I got to use the dragons. They did a
Those are
lot of
cool.
damage.
Oh yeah,
Those were good.
yeah.
Great
That,
guardians.
I've been excited.
And
for you
he
to
kept
get
trying
that
to
one.
knock them out of me, and he could not succeed until he knocked me down. He had to take me out.
Everyone was just doing so good at their concentration checks. Any spell that was up,
Huge.
it was staying up apparently.
Well, I do think that's a really good pro strat that we have that both me and Drac at the beginning could just like bless
Double
the entire party. Yeah,
And
which is
then
was
Eloy
good.
with the getting all of them baned. I was like,
Yeah,
yes.
ooh, that was
It
awesome.
started off so strong.
It was great. You held on to that for
I did.
basically the whole fight.
Mhm.
Yeah, I couldn't stop myself from getting stunned, but I could keep that stupid spell up.
It helped, for sure.
In that fight, I went from doing really well physically, and then in one turn, I was at 1 HP.
Yeah.
But that was
Brutal.
pretty much what happened to. Well, it was when she did that chain lightning, and
Oh, yeah,
like
she hit you,
just
yeah.
about wiped me out in one hit, and I was like, oh no.
I was just getting slapped over and over again. I got slapped all the way down to 1.
Yeah, the entire fight was me just figuring out like because I had 3 options for healing because I had cure wounds, I had lay on hands, and I had a potion on me still. So it's just trying to figure out like how do I want to heal this time? Because lay on hands, it's not that much really, like unless I dump all of it into you. But it's a full action to do it. so it's kind of
Yeah.
difficult. But I did really great in terms of not losing any health because I had an actually good, useful surge where I was just healing every round. So I liked that.
You
That
should
was
do
fun.
that more often.
I wish.
Yeah, just roll that. Easy.
Yeah.
And then Adam, you got to use your fighting spirit, right?
I've used it before, but it was effective this time. Yeah.
Hmm.
What does it do? What is
It's like
it?
my violent shot.
I get 5 temporary hit points, and basically for the turn, I get advantage on all attacks.
Right.
Oh, cool.
Also, did you
Pretty
have
neat.
something that you can still like take half damage on certain things?
I have Heavy Armor Master as a feat, so I reduce bludgeoning, slashing, and piercing damage by 3.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay, yeah. I was
Didn't
trying to figure
know
out what that
that's how
was
that
afterwards.
worked.
I'm like, you're not a barbarian anymore. Okay.
We had a whole thing about that.
His character in the previous campaign also had this feat, so it was just like, let's go back to these. Yes, Adam, I am aware of your reduction.
Yeah, I'm basically making Arcturus 2.0. Like, so it's kind of
Robot
ended up.
Boogaloo.
Yeah.
Do you have any like other interesting kind of like helpful abilities or weaknesses in fights? Just curious. No.
Not really.
No
I'm
particular
actually
reason, I'm just
immune to
wondering.
all smiting.
Oh, that's weird.
You see,
huh?
when you forsake one god, the powers of all gods don't work on you anymore. It's really
Yeah.
convenient.
Weird.
It's pretty nice.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Oh, girlfriend
That's
that's
attack.
so cute.
Oh, I missed
Denny, did you make this fight super difficult to punish us because we did so well in the Enclave fight?
God damn it, Natalie, get out of here.
Natalie!
Wow.
Wow.
Live!
Adam, welcome back. How
Hi, Adam.
Hey, how's it going, bud?
how you doing? Should we roll up a character for Natalie or
No, she just got home from work, you know.
As you do.
Hopefully we don't get taken down.
All of a sudden, like, sorry, technical
Honestly, we
difficulties.
couldn't really see anything that was happening, so it just looked like she tackled you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The plan worked.
Oh, wow. Yeah, sorry, Christy, what was the question again? You wanted to know if I wanted to punish you all at the fight?
Yeah, did you want to punish us because we did so well in the Enclave fight?
This
Yes,
is probably
Chris.
going to be a bit of a, like, you know, once this campaign is over conversation I'd like to have. Because this,
Are we in
Sorry?
It's a yes or no question.
well, I want to, like, as DMs, you know, we create things and sometimes they don't get used, so you move them to a different spot. This was kind of one of those situations. And I
Okay,
won't
I'll
tell you
move
where
it.
it was before until after this campaign is over.
Okay, I'll move it.
I can't imagine this having happened anywhere earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very curious.
I mean, I've of course had to like
Yeah.
up the combat difficulty to kind of accommodate, but an encounter with Sarze was going to happen at a different time.
oh wait, now I'm thinking.
Yeah,
That
She
when?
hears in the Druid Enclave.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay, that's great because the other after campaign question I have is about Sarze, so there's kind of a theme going on here.
Why is she so hot?
No, it was what I asked
Truly.
in an after party, and you told me that I should save it for the after campaign. So, you know.
Do we know what class she is?
I think she's
No.
a warlock.
Well, that's what I was getting concerned
Didn't
about.
she Eldritch Blast somebody?
She did a hellish rebuke, but it was a weird hellish rebuke.
But isn't there a whole thing about how, like, is there not kind of like a heavenly rebuke or whatever the hell? Because
Is there?
Because she,
She's
Radiant damage, right?
yeah,
It did
'cause
radiant,
Yeah.
but it
I don't
definitely
know
caught
what
my attention when
ability
she did that.
So no, is it
So
just like
it's-
a weird Asmar thing? or-
yeah, because I assume she's like a scourge Asimar. Seems like what's up. Seems fallen and evil.
Well, she
Oh,
also had that like aura thing that is more paladin-y-esque, isn't it?
So,
Oh, that's true.
She had like an aura of
She had
fear.
right, but I guess
Yeah.
like there
Is
could
that
be
an
an
Oathbreaker
item.
paladin thing?
Mm.
I mean, I think
Auras
the
are
truth is
usually-
that she is an NPC and a monster like
Sure.
stat block that Denny's created,
Yeah.
so there's not one
Yeah.
class. So she might
Yeah.
actually just have a bunch of abilities from
It could all just be
different
weird homebrew.
things.
Eddie has
Yeah.
also said that classes are reserved for PCs.
Yeah.
So
That is until he assaulted us with 15 monks that were all level
Well,
5.
exactly. Yeah, classes are reserved for PCs. Also, Denny, stunning strike.
Stunning strike
I
of
thought he
burn.
said like levels were done differently. Like you're, isn't that what he said? I don't know. I'm making stuff up.
Being very coy about it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will let you all theorize as you will.
I'll go
will-
rewatch all the.
You can go
afterparties
ahead.
We've had.
If you do the work.
The
All the
answer
power
is
to you.
there.
I mean, it makes sense to me that it is like just that you wouldn't just use regular PC classes for NPCs, because I think that's like a pretty standard thing that I've heard that other DMs do as well. But anyway, she got away, and how is everyone feeling about that?
That was for the best.
Yeah.
Yeah,
she was
'cause
gonna
it's
kill
like a-
us.
in-out character thing, because me player wise I'm like, oh, Denny was being benevolent and having her leave and not just fucking kill us all, but like in character I'm like, I don't know
But
how I
also,
feel
like,
about that.
why didn't she
I-
just kill us all?
Well, that's
I
actually
do
a
think-
question. Go ahead.
What
Must have
Adam,
been
I
her.
think what Adam said in the last session, like I think there was desperation there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, part of it, this is like for Denny specifically, for moments kind of like this fight, would you have a plan, kind of like a just in case, that the main foe would try to run, or is it something you kind of come up with on the spot if like everyone's kind of close to dying? And then if you do make that choice on the spot, do you feel the need to justify it for their character later? Like, because we had the theory that she was maybe toying with us, or she was feeling desperate, or what have
Well,
you.
there isn't a straightforward answer to that. Like, because considering when you like create combat encounters, you know, sometimes you have tactical opponents, sometimes you have more, you know, bestial, like instinct driven opponents, and it's kind of a case by case basis, you know. Like, I do consider, like, is there an escape route? Would this NPC or monster consider an escape route? Are they going to fight to the death? What is their breaking point to be like, all right, these parameters have been met, I'm taking off? Like, I do keep all of these kind of things in mind for a case by case basis, and I'm not going to tell you what Zarzai's was.
Yep, that's fair.
Come on.
I mean, I think Adam hit it on the nose. It was desperation. She didn't even try to like go for her weapon. Like,
That's
Yeah,
true. Well,
so
she
I
also
just still feel like
can't,
she could have
right?
killed us if she wanted to, though. She could have turned into gas to get out of his grasp, and then
Yeah.
just lightning bolted us again.
Well, end of the
Yeah.
day, she
Unless
doesn't
she was
really-
out of like, you know, spell
Yeah,
slots
I
or
don't
something
know.
of those
If
level.
she's a warlock, she's only got 2 of them.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yep.
Yeah.
Maybe she I mean, she can't really see our HP value, but at the end of the day, she saw 2 or 3 of us go down.
you don't have a
right?
bar above your head that just shrinks.
Nah.
Hmm.
Nah, you?
That's so strange. Yeah. All the time.
Oh, man.
Even in real life, you just can't see it right now. It's above there.
Why is my stamina bar
exactly.
always depleted?
I kind of
Mine's
vibe.
always
Stop dodge
at
rolling,
that
Adam.
breaking point.
I can't help it.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of vibing with what Jonimus just said. You know, she had
She
to
left
pee,
because
bro.
she needed to pee.
Oh my god.
It's
Wow.
like, oh,
she
sorry,
me?
Shinkara. I really gotta take a leak. I know you're all dead, but just thought I'd let y'all know.
Part of me just really wanted to like dispel her cloud as she was flying away. I fully forgot to do it in like hindsight though, but
Yeah. I
It's
think
okay.
I
so.
feel
Yeah.
like we
Probably
would have
think
died.
I
that-
also
some of
thought about
us.
that afterwards. I thought maybe I should have counterspelled it, but I think it is better that she left.
Yeah, I just don't think that we were like
She,
if we had been able to beat her, it would have been like so dragged out. I just don't think like it would have been.
I
I don't think
a
we
lot of us
all
are
would have
running on
made it out of
fumes,
that.
yeah.
No, we
No.
would have lost people for sure.
Yeah, I think we could have beat her, but I don't think we would have been the same group afterwards.
Would have been
I
like
think we would have lost like 1 or 2 of us.
I'd been playing Amdeuce, bro.
One day.
One day on the horizon.
I look
Ryan's
so
just
forward-
like, sounds like
me.
could kill me. Kill me.
Look, I don't want this man to die. I would like to peacefully transition to Amdus, but you know, if I die, door opens a lot quicker.
Well, this battle marked the end of episode 26. And with that, I think we will take a quick break and then come back on and talk about episode 27, Brulbar by Day. Hell yeah. So we will see you in a little bit, guys.
Hell yeah.
Bye. Hello and welcome back, everyone, to the second half of After Party. We pick up where we left off at beginning of episode 27, which was the end of our fight with Sarze. We find out that the weapon she left behind is called the Phantasmal Dagger. Seems fine. So, Denny,
Yeah.
what is it? A sai?
A sai, yeah. So it's like a, it's a, like, I don't want to claim like a specific culture to it, but it's like a commonly media used ninja weapon. Like it's like a dagger, but it like, instead of just being like a blade, it's like a fork kind of, where it goes. If you know the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Raphael uses sais. It's like a straight
Like a
pin,
three-prong.
but then a couple of blades coming up out of the side, kind of like a handguard in a way.
Yeah,
Did
if a
you
fork and
know
a dagger
that-
had a child. It's the same.
Well, but did
is
you
it
know, I
S-
looked this up because I was trying to figure out how to say this or what it was for the recap. They're typically blunted weapons. They're not actually daggers. They're normally blunted and they're used for defense rather than stabbing.
Yeah,
I learned.
but
Is it
this one's
SAI?
not.
Is that?
SAI.
We know it isn't. We know this one isn't.
This one hurts.
All right. Well, we just chuck that into the bag of holding, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, I'm afraid
We also
of that.
wrapped it up with some cloth.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
And
in
a
case you could
weird-
see us.
Oh, true. Had a weird little symbol on the handle, which can't wait to find out what that's about.
I'm pretty sure it's not an eye.
It's very casual.
It's not an eye.
Azaria said it was an eye, and I disagree. It looks like a claw.
It does kind of look like a claw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I had it open, but I don't know where it went. Yeah, it kind of looks like the Raptor symbol.
A
Right?
little.
I can throw it
I
up in
actually-
the stream.
I actually don't know what
Sarze's
the
just
Raptors
a
look
big,
like.
big Raptors fan.
Yeah.
That's what we're gonna learn about her.
All right, symbol incoming. Bam.
Bam.
Spooky.
That's
Oh,
such
it
a
does
I mean-
kinda look
symbol.
like an eye.
It looks like the raptor symbol in that it is black and red and resembles a claw.
Yes.
It
That's all I
also
know about
kinda looks like
sports.
an NE if you look at it from the side.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
Norman everywhere.
I looked through my list of characters.
Sarze's
I didn't
real
see any
name.
NEs.
wow.
Ooh.
Hello, I'm Norman everywhere. Pleasure to meet you.
Oh my god.
This kind of look like
I
a
would
claw
love
severed.
that to happen. That'd be so funny. Yeah. Oh, we also had very exciting Drax first. This is a really good time to put a lot of chocolate in your mouth. Drax first. Speak with Dead casting. Do you want to just kind of talk a little bit about that right now?
Yeah. Yeah, it was fun. I'm glad that Teni just kind of forced me to ask the questions as they came to my face, but then I realized like, oh yeah, I have 10 minutes to do this, so but yeah, no, it was fun. It was cool being able to like use some more necromancy spells, and I'm glad that Ryan, you brought up that fact, because that's something that like I've been developing with Drac over the course of the campaign. Obviously, Revivify is a necromancy spell, so he was gonna have to use one eventually. Well, hopefully not. But
No,
That's it.
you might not have to use one eventually.
That's what I never thought about that being a necromancy spell.
Yep.
Like all
he also
resurrection
has
magic.
Yeah,
yeah.
who'd
I
have
guess that
thought?
makes sense.
Bringing somebody back from the dead is necromancy.
It does make sense, and I know that this isn't a school of magic, but my brain's always just been like, it's a cleric spell. Or like a healing
Clerics
spell,
are
which
good.
is different. What's cure wounds? What is that considered to
That's
be?
evocation.
Evocation.
Evocation. Weird. Okay. All right.
Drac also has Toll the Dead as his damage-dealing cantrips, which is also necromancy. So he's really learned from Azaria that it's just a tool.
Well, that's some good growth.
It's an evil tool.
No.
Evil
But I
tool
guess, like,
used by evil.
I will say, when I can cast reincarnation, we will have a non-evil way of bringing people back from the dead.
Yep.
But it's also like way less specific.
Yeah, it's like you come back as something.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be like rushing to do that one anytime soon. Oh my god, that'd be my whole thing's way more fucked. Also, when I came back and I like wasn't even like related to my family anymore.
You just like came back as a Kenku or something.
Oh my god, no thank you.
You are Grobo parent.
No.
A mushroom lady.
I
Oh
would love to
yeah,
play a
throw
Kenku.
the Myconids in there.
I
Can't.
would play the shit out of a Kenku.
It's so fun.
Yeah, what did we learn from the corpse? Just that the order
yeah.
supposedly seemed like it came from Sarze, not Mithilcote, but he does have
No,
like a
it
big
came
plan.
from Mithilcote.
Oh well, I wrote that backwards in my notes. That's good.
It came from Mithilcote, and Sarze, like, you know, chain of command it down, basically.
Gotcha.
And we also learned that that's pretty much all we learned.
We learned that they were coming to kill us. They might have been trying to like capture us and get information. We learned that they did want us dead.
Yeah. And my last two questions were not very thought out, but it's okay.
I mean, I don't know what else you were gonna do.
Yeah,
I think
I
they were
couldn't-
solid questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly the best at lying, so even me wearing the mask in a funky way wasn't really helping.
Weird.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those things too that like even though like maybe you as the player, like I was having this thing of like me as the player has seen moments where it's used and kind of like the concept of what questions are good to ask because you have to do kind of be like a bit duplicitous with it. But like Drac wouldn't know that, so kind of
exactly.
fumbling the last couple, it's just like a good growing moment for if you want to use it again in the future.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It's just like an off little tiny thing, but who knows, it could be important later. Once you guys took watch again, Abe and Elwyn also saw the kind of weird thing movement in the clouds above the mountains that I saw. Who knows if that's important? It was the same mountains that the Cinder Monks are in.
You're muted,
Twice?
Anthony.
Danny made a point to mention it twice, so clearly it means something.
That's really like again, you don't have to answer this in terms of like spoilers for the campaign, but this could just be like a DM, anyone who's DM'd question, like like try to find that balance of adding flavor versus like adding things that are specifically important to see. Like how do you guys balance that? Or is like everything you mentioned like to be important?
When I DM, no, absolutely not everything I mention is important. But I try not to focus on something that's not. You know, if you go into something, like it might just be, like keeping watch is actually one where I'll often, like, it'll give a sense of, like, what's around in the world. If there's not an encounter coming, maybe they'll see something that'll hint at something coming in the future. So I've done, like, dragons and mountains, they see it in the distance or something. Or it's just like, oh, you know now polar bears exist in this, you know, northern place. Thinking of the last time I've done this.
I think when I DM, and Christy, you can probably talk to this too as well.
No.
Okay. I was going to say, I try to sprinkle in just little like random bits of like things you see, things you hear, and it doesn't necessarily have any meaning. It's just there, just to try to like make the world feel more world-like, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, I'm similar to that style. Although typically, like if I like during why am I stuttering so much, Ryan? So if I sprinkle something in that's seemingly random, I might bring it back later. So like let's say they journey some direction a little bit, take a rest out there, and then have to go back for some reason. They'll be like, "You see this overnight?" And they'll be like, "Okay, cool." And then if they have to go back to that region again, it's like, "Oh, there's that thing again, but it's important this time," sort of thing.
Mhm. Yeah, it's kind of a one time it could just be random. More than once, it's kind of like more than a coincidence.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do
But
we think that's a dragon gang?
oh,
Thing in the cloud?
I want to.
You said that they could be invisible.
I want to comment on the DM thing too, in that I like to add an extra layer where it's like well, actually at this point you guys realize a lot of the things I throw in I don't really give answers for, because getting you guys invested in the world is kind of filling in the blanks of mysteries. You know, it's like, what could that be? And that got you guys talking about, what is this thing? And the fact that I did it a couple of times, you're like, well, it must be something. So it's a tool to kind of ground it even further. But also I like to add an extra layer where it's like, sometimes it might be a red herring. Sometimes it might be worth pursuing.
I think that's where I struggle as a player sometimes, because I just feel like this is also me playing video games. I have to like look at every single nook and cranny, and if I don't, I get really annoyed. So if you mention anything and it feels like we haven't looked at it, I feel bad, because I think like we should be doing something. Like if there's even like a beat of silence after you describe something and then you move on, I'm like, should we have gone over there? Like should we have looked at it? So I get really stressed out, because I'm like, I want to feel like I'm rewarding the fact that you're like throwing little lines in there. But it's also, now you know you can manipulate me really easily.
Well, that's the benefit of having like a group that you're familiar with. You know, I kind of understand how to guide you guys specifically each into stories. Sometimes I kind of forget. I'm like, oh right, I need to focus on a person and get them more grounded into this. But I try and balance it between the lot of you. But the setting is precious. Every individual detail, not so much. You know, I could be like, did they latch onto it? Perfect, let's focus on it. Did they not? We'll move on. And
that's actually good to know, because I was actually kind of thinking about that too, because I know there's been moments like our home game, for instance, where like a character got really too into something that like wasn't actually anything, and I'm wondering if like maybe it's helpful to be more fluid in those moments of like, because I know like I've heard that like some DMs don't really, if they make a puzzle, they don't really have like an actual correct solution to it. It's just kind of seeing like rewarding the creativity or something like that. So
sometimes yeah, I mean, and even like I just mentioned, like sometimes I might throw a red herring in there if that is what everybody latches onto, because and it seems like the interesting thing. It's like, well, let's make it real, let's make it important. Not to saying I don't have a plan or anything, but sometimes the plan changes.
Yeah, for sure. That makes sense. Speaking of places that I wanted to explore more and we didn't really get to, we passed through the town of Small Keep on our way to Brulbar. We debated it a lot, but we didn't actually sleep there, right? Or did we?
No, we did.
We did.
Sweet. I guess we super just glossed over it. I don't remember it all. But yeah, I really like hope we have time to go back there at some point, because I have a lot of questions, especially, so there's the barrier mouth, which you kind of mentioned before during the little mini lore dump there for a second, which you just told me in a Facebook message, and I don't have Facebook open, what it was. It leads to the under something? The
Under Earth, which is pretty self-explanatory. It's the realm underneath the surface of the planet.
Ooh, is that like the equivalent of like the 9 hells kind of, or is that its own thing?
It's just an underground biome.
Whoa. And is that associated with like Starshire?
Very much so, yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's right. No, you literally just said they fucking blocked the thing up with magic. I'm listening. It's fine. Moving on. It's fine. That's also we saw a bunch of people going in and out of the woods because they're heading to the Wilder. And it was really hard to not just want to join them. I want to go to the Wilder right now.
They'll just sprint away and leave.
See you later, losers.
And now Teni has to DM 2 campaigns.
Nope, Nell's gone.
It's one of those things, like, as we were continuing along this way, I'm like, I know that we're getting closer to that portal to the Wilder. I'm like, I know it doesn't make sense to go right now, but I want to go right now. Just see what happens.
I feel like I'm in a weird, because Dallas want to go there. I want to go see it. I don't think Elowin does. I feel about the Wilder as you feel about Varmhall. Like, I'm like, I don't really feel like I need to go back there at the moment.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I think that's probably like in game the main thing that's keeping Nell from not being like super insistent that we should go like that. It feels like it's not part of the general consensus of things to do, but she wouldn't want to like force you to go before you were ready. So
I have a
But I do wanna
family
go.
that
We
I
gotta
don't
go.
want to see and deal with in there.
you have like a terrible brother or something.
My brother's a dick and my father is dying and has dementia right now, so
Oh,
not dealing with that problem.
We didn't
By
even
being
know that
in
part.
the material plane.
Logan, we didn't even know about this thing with your father. You just dropped that.
No one's asked. No one's ever asked me about like.
You and Dallas, you're such fuckers because you're like, oh, well, no one ever asked me about my dad, so like, why would it come up? It's like, I can't know to ask every little thing.
Yeah,
Sometimes
we're
you have
really
to send
old. I
information.
can't tell you about everything. that
Yeah,
happens in our lives.
Fairly recently, Azaria has actually kind of hinted at this.
Well, because I did fucking ask about your parents in episode 26.
Yeah, and I
I
talked
asked,
about like.
you didn't tell me. Was I supposed to say, oh, just by the way, is your like father still alive or like maybe like sick with some terminal disease?
Well, no, but you asked like you asked like how, their relationship was, and then you asked stuff about my mother. And so that kind of got into that was where the conversation went, was about my mom not being there and disappearing and that. And that's like more pressing in my mind than my father.
It's fine. I'm just saying, if we're kind of in the general area of the topic, you can bring that up too.
I mean, to be fair, also to defend Logan, Azaria is
No.
probably a little bit angry with their parents at the moment, so probably doesn't want to talk about them.
Yep, that's
Yeah,
fair.
yeah,
That makes
pretty
sense.
there's a pretty angry moment in the temple with them, and I think I'm still just like dealing with that.
This actually makes me think of something, because we have the home rule to not do like insight checks and stuff on each other. I forget sometimes like how much you have to telegraph certain things that might be going on with you, to be like, oh, you noticed this about me. Like I never think to do that. So hard to remember to be like, hey, I don't know.
Hey, I might be lying or covering something up.
yeah, I say this, but I say it real shifty like. So yeah, also what's this up with elf ages? 'Cause me and Denny spent so long figuring out like how old my parents were, and then you're like, your dad's so young. Fuck, I don't know.
I
But,
have
like,
my own headcanon for this that isn't lining up, I don't think.
No, I think it's so like because in Denny's world, every race just becomes an adult around
Sure.
when humans do, unless
Yeah.
they're short-lived.
No, I get that. But if you live 700 years, why, like 50 years into that, are you having kids, especially half-elven kids that you're gonna outlive?
Because people are crazy.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Things
I just feel
happen.
like, I don't know, in my mind, I'm like,
I mean,
you've got
that's
so
also,
much
like,
time.
why
fuck
does an
around for a
elf
bit.
Fall in love with a person that they're going to outlive.
I
Like,
guess that's true.
Wait
yeah.
till you meet my mother, and then you'll fucking get it. You know, she's big and she's hot. What more do you want? God. Like, I think the description I gave to Denny about my parents was that like she's really buff and like powerful and the leader of the group, and then he's a wife guy. That's his whole thing.
Oh, I appear to have spilt yogurt on myself again.
You were not allowed to go full
Got to
clear.
go
You were
there.
not allowed to go full clear with my father. Absolutely not.
Please.
Like, okay, he's not like a total sad sack though. Like, he has his own stuff. It's just he loves his wife. That doesn't
Of
make him a
course,
loser.
I'm also currently frozen in time and very much enjoying the time
I
to
will
think and
prioritize
ponder.
unfreezing them if he is Galir.
I'm very thankful that when time froze, I had a spoonful of yogurt in my mouth.
No,
So
I
that
can-
I
You
can
guys
taste
suck.
yogurt eternally.
I absolutely hate this. You're not allowed to do that. I'll be so mad.
This was kind of a big deal, and I was told specifically not to eat yogurt during the ceremony, but I just couldn't resist.
I'm just gonna say,
so
yogurt's
upsetting.
delicious.
I don't think we're debating that.
Or,
Go around the circle. How do we all feel about yogurt?
all right. So if Nell's dad was eating yogurt at the ceremony, Amdus would be frozen in time, slapping it out of his hand.
This sounds like a riot. We should go to the
I absolutely hate this.
Yeah, I think we have to go and see what the tableau that was created is.
I feel like they're all
Well-
frozen clapping, which would be super tragic.
I mean, you could probably get more details if Ellen would message Finn.
Well, I'm actually
do
gonna.
it.
I'm
We'll
gonna
do
ask you
it.
next one. You guys, I haven't really talked about like what actually happened in the ceremony, but I have an idea of what the tableau is. They're all eating yogurt. Fuckers. Take that. Anyway.
They're all Galir.
Oh my God.
It's a whole clan of Galeers.
I'll allow it only if that means that Am does this as well, and then Ryan has to commit to playing Galir as
Oh,
well.
I
Old
don't want to
Galir.
play Galir.
Yeah. So now you're on my side, Ryan. You can't let this out.
That's right.
Should we give context for like the
Oh yeah. If anyone does not know what the hell we're talking about, you just need to watch Dimension 28 Season 1 Fantasy High to find just like the best portrayal of an elf of all time. So funny and so good. Do I want it to be my father? No. But it is funny and it is fantastic. So yeah. I'm gonna move on from this because I just don't want to have anyone have any more ideas. While we're on the road more, I can't remember exactly why, but I play a prank on Abe to make his horse run away. For some reason, I don't know. And then after doing that, I have a wild magic surge and I give birth to my mushroom son, Gorbo.
Robo.
Robo, fuck.
You don't know your own son's name.
I don't know his name.
Child services are taking him away, and I am child services.
gonna leave.
I willingly have surrendered
24
him
hours,
to you.
solid.
No, he's going to be there forever.
Nope, he's gone tomorrow morning for
Nope.
sure. Yes, the question I have for myself is, that Logan wanted me to ask is, why do I hate my son? Great question. I just was spending, because I didn't get to do my level up in the previous episode, and I was really nervous about doing my level up in this one. So it's like, I don't have the capacity right now to deal with a little mushroom man, because I'm trying to figure out how to potentially be emotional in a little bit. So I was like, this is just not the time, Brobo. So, you know.
United you. You could have taken the oath of Brobo right there.
Yep.
Yeah, Danny would have really liked that. But she's like, hey, I'm a Grobo stan now, so if you could just figure that one out.
Oh, Grobo is your stand.
Paladin of the Ancients, right there. They're the kind of naturey ones. It's already there.
Yeah, this is actually really funny because in like out of game, me and Danny talked for a long time about like what my family is in terms of Paladin. Because we were going off of like the kind of flavor text of Oath of the Ancients, but looking at the actual spells and abilities, it doesn't really line up. It's so weird because all the stuff about it is like the light stuff that's quite relevant to Fyra, but the spell is really plant-based. So we're kind of doing a thing where like my family is Oath of Ancients, but actually they're Oath of Devotion. So that's what I took.
Yeah, it's like the rules of the ancients, but the magical flavor of devotion.
Yep. I just thought of something while we were thinking about this. The magic surge happened like after I played a prank, but I feel like I came to the conclusion at some point like the magic isn't coming from Reynard specifically. Like I'm just like a channel for kind of like a wilder, chaotic magic. So I'm like, then who's rewarding me or punishing potentially for playing a prank? I just don't understand because it feels like that's very Reynard, but
I mean, your Amma also like appeared to you and said it's okay, so maybe she's encouraging you.
yeah, no, but it's more so maybe I just came to my own conclusions about this, and this wasn't actually confirmed in game. I don't remember, but I think it was maybe after I had the fireball thing happen. Perhaps I think I came to the conclusion that like Reynard's not controlling it, but it's just happening. Did I make this up, Kenny? Am I crazy?
I don't remember any of this.
Okay. Well, never mind. It's fine. Whatever. Question for me that Teni had. Nell is beginning to realize when these moments of chaos magic are caused by her. When did she make that deduction? Great question. I think meta-wise, when we had originally talked about the custom flaw, it was supposed to be that like I got like a headache or something every time I surged, and we just never roleplayed that. But I realized like I wanted to be able to do that, to be like, oh, I'm like having like a physical sensation or something when it's happening. So yeah, I don't know. I guess my play is kind of just like, I think at this point, like it's happened enough times that maybe like there is something that I can like feel or sense, like a tether of connection to be like, yeah, this is mine. Because I've been studying it enough now that I should know. So I'm just kind of trying to mentally add that back in.
Cool.
Do you have any more questions for me, Denny, or was that?
that I've got at the moment.
Great, fantastic. Okay. Okay. The next part was the magic beans. So we, what happened? Dallas, you cast Identify, right? We found out that if we dump the whole bag out, it explodes. But if we only plant one and water it, a random effect will take place. So of course, we plant a bean because Azaria wants to. And we get
Drac also wanted to.
You did, but it was like your idea first, and Drac was supporting it, I will say. And then so we get this blue bonfire situation that we now have some of that fire with us, so that's really exciting. But yeah, and that was also the moment that I like kind of snapped everyone to be like, fuck you guys. Why were you so mad at me in the Enclave? Because look how interested you all are in chaos magic.
Yeah,
on
I do
a
wonder
safe
though,
road.
Yeah, I think there's a huge difference of like safety and you doing it when you just died and we're all kind of like in a bad situation.
Look, I feel like I made my point really well in game.
And Drac recognized the point you were making.
Rhea
like
didn't acknowledge it.
I think it's like Azaria that I'm the most mad at, like out of the game. Like now it's just like, oh, it's my mentor. I would never like, say anything. But like me, Christy, I'm like, Logan, I'm so mad at you.
There's such a difference, though.
It's so annoying because it's like
I'll say this: if halfway through the next druid temple I say, hey, let's plant a bean, then you can smite me for hypocrisy there.
No, the annoying thing is that like I still don't really feel like that was super in character for now. It was all just me. But now I have to like fucking deal with the ramifications from it. It's so irritating.
Man, that's so many choices I make. I feel like I was like, wait, was that a Rhea choice or a Logan choice?
That's why I said, like I think like maybe you and I are kind of similar, that we like to have like certain moments of chaos that are like are us the player, but we're playing like characters that don't really lean into that. So you have moments you're like, fuck, I had to justify this.
Rhea is chaotic good, but I think I'm a little more chaotic than Rhea is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like me playing the prank on or trying to play a prank on the blacksmith. Like that was just something I wanted to do, and I quickly justified it, but yeah.
It went so well.
And that worked really well, yeah.
I think that like also we all just had like a very like heavy like rough like go through of that temple, like, you know, people went down. We had a pretty heavy fight with Sarze. So like this last session, I think all of us were feeling like a little goofy because it like everything was so rough. Like you kind of need to get those moments with like some comedy and like something to brighten the mood.
Peaks and valleys.
Yeah, that makes sense. It was hard because I think I was also trying to like roleplay as Nell, being like, oh wow, like I really fucked up in the Enclave, like and that was like the catalyst for taking a paladin level. And so I'm like, well, I better really like fucking straighten up because I'm not doing a good job leading this group. Like everyone's really mad at me, and like no more time. Like literally like me, like over the 2 weeks thing, like, okay, like I have to like crack down, like no more goofs, like gotta be a serious leader. And then it's just like, let's plant this fucking bean. And I'm like, and it's just like knowing what I was about to do when we got to Brulbar. So mad.
I think the lesson that was to be taken away from that whole scenario was just timing. You're allowed to be a goofball.
No.
It's just the timing.
No, now it's fully just like no goofs.
It's just like Drac pranking Gideon. You can prank Gideon, just not when he's
when
doing business.
I kind of want to quickly touch on Anthony's prank there. I've always found it fascinating, this concept of like a character who is technically like trying to be neutral, but you're like, whereas a character who's neutral will be like selfish and just like self-centered, you're the type of neutral where it's like you dip into the other alignments and you have to do something of the opposite to kind of get your scales back in set. So I've never found like your moments of like pranking or like a bit more strictness or excessive good as like out of character, because I'm like, at some point he's gonna bring it back by doing something to balance it out.
Also, haha, scales, double meaning.
Yeah.
But yes, that is mostly by design. Sometimes it's just like, oh, I want to do this thing, and I'm going to justify it later.
Yeah, I mean, you have this kind of built-in ideology that allows you to easily justify.
I can do whatever I want.
You can straight up just murder somebody and be like, well, you know, I saved a bunch of people yesterday, so...
All about balance.
Awkward.
All about balance. Finders keepers, baby.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Though, like, there must be someone in the world who's like taken this belief that your group has that far, where they're like, I saved a life, I must now take a life. I did this good thing, I now must do this evil thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, his
Some,
name
like,
is
zealotous people.
his brother. I forgot his name.
Pause.
Hans. Yeah.
Yeah, Boz.
I hope Boz doesn't go that far.
Like a
but-
Boz.
I mean, it already seems like he's kind of an extremist, so we'll see. In my anger, I skipped over the question about the magic bean stuff, which is, when does everyone think they would want to plant like their bean? And does anyone actually know, like, I guess out of game, the potential possibilities of what the beans can do?
I have no idea, but I know I'm going to make a kick-ass stew with it.
Out of game, I know a few of them, which I won't tell anyone.
Yeah, I don't know any of
because
them.
I've, DM'd for so many years that, like, it's a magic item I've considered giving before. Never have. I'm excited as a player to have. But I don't know what all of them do. And I will probably plant mine at another big town. I think I'm going to, like, it'll be like another, like, here's where we've gone on the adventure. Also, then if things go really bad, I don't know if they can go really bad. Hopefully the town folks could help us.
Wasn't the one that we just planted yours?
No,
had an
we had an
extra one.
extra one, so he said we'll test it to see what's going on.
It was going to be Grobos, but
Now we've created a tourist attraction called Seeker's Flame,
Yeah.
and we're going to charge royalties every time somebody goes past it.
we should have put a sign next to it.
We really should have.
Yeah.
We
Mistake.
aimed it. We didn't
Pay what
put
you
anything
want.
down.
Just like
There's
put a
just
little
a random
bucket.
fire in the middle of the
Yep.
That's what
Poor
I'm doing
farmers,
on
like, what's
day
the
2.
blue flame?
I'm gonna ride out there on my horse, put the sign up, the Seeker's Flame.
Excellent.
There you go.
Admission, 1 silver piece.
I feel like
No,
I
I-
have the same problem with these beans that I do with like most like potions and stuff in video games, where you're like, there's probably the right time to use this, and I don't know what it is. But also with the beans, I'm like, what? I don't know. We should just plant them all. I don't know. We should just see what they do.
Yeah, we should plant them.
I
That's
kind
how
of
I
think.
felt about the big potion that I took at the Enclave, because I was like, you know what, this is like the biggest potion that we have, but I wasn't sure how that fight was going to go in that moment, so I was like, you know what,
Yeah.
I can't take another hit, I'm going to down it, we'll figure it out later.
Could
Yeah.
just die, you know?
You
Yeah,
don't
exactly.
use them, you lose them, because Sarze and other things will kill you.
That's right.
So, moral of the story is use the beans as soon as you can.
That is a good
That
point.
kind
I
of
think
maybe is a good idea.
I think next session I'm gonna plant mine overnight underneath Ria's bed. I just gotta see what happens.
Go do it.
And
Yeah.
before dead.
I think you'd have to plant it like underneath the hotel we're staying at.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go outside and I'm gonna grab some dirt. I'm gonna make a little pile and I'm gonna put it in the pile of dirt.
A potted plant
That
underneath
might,
his
uh,
bed.
Yeah. Does
Could be
it
a
say it
Jack
has to be in
situation.
like
No, I think
true earth
I
of the
don't
ground?
know what it says. Only Elwyn knows that.
I believe the wording
It'll
on the
work.
magic item is in soil or sand. So
No, I can just grab
You could
a
do
handful
it.
of soil.
Oh boy.
All right.
Dash.
You're just
Okay.
falling into my plan of planting all the beans.
Damn it. There's no good solution here. All right, anyone else know what they're doing with beans?
No idea.
Okay, great.
I have no bean plans.
Well, in that case, we finally arrive in Brulbar. Once again, as always, the description you gave of our entrance into the city, Teni, as well as the map that you made was fucking stunning. Obviously, it's always super cool when we get to go to new places that you've created for us. But I don't know, just like walking to Brulbar felt so grand and magnificent.
I'm
And
glad.
You made your fucking map too cool. I'm having the same issue where literally this is the part I actually always get stuck on in Witcher 3 is when I get to the first big city and there's so much, like so many streets to explore. I do have to go to the mall, so we're gonna be here for a while. Actually, hope that's okay.
If you want to come on a sightseeing tour with Drac, you're more than welcome to.
I would love to. Yeah, we got rid of our bugs, and then we found an inn.
With my favorite NPC I've
Oh,
ever
yeah.
come
Love
across.
that turtle.
The turtle.
The next time
Your
I'm
face when
sad,
he was
I'm gonna
describing it.
call Danny and I'm gonna say, "Can you read me a story using that turtle voice, please?"
Oh
To
my
your own.
god, I would
Should start
love
like
that.
what's that Cameo site that you just get people to
Oh,
pay you to like
Cameo.
Cameo? Okay.
Yeah.
I will
Hello,
pay you
this
so
is
much
Tyrone.
money.
I think more GMs should offer that service. Just like to read a story to someone.
I'm some stranger who just happens to be good at a few select voices.
Oh, Danny, you do one of those like sleepy time podcasts where the person just kind of tells like a rambling story and then you fall asleep to it.
Jonas
saying.
is actually asking for the voice right now. This
Do
was a turtle NPC named Tyrone who was a bellboy at the inn they went to, and he just said hello and such to the party. He was a very charming lad in charge of the keys and gave everybody their keys.
Was he young?
Hard to say with turtles. They're all kinda wrinkly aside from the shell.
I love him so much.
Very friendly turtle man.
In a world that
Oh.
is so chaotic, just a nice, low talking guy. I'm
Yeah,
into
just
it.
Super soothing and peaceful. Yeah. Maybe we need like maybe we should like ask him to dinner or something.
Yeah, do you want to go on an adventure?
We could hire an underling. He could be our little hireling.
That's
Oh
the
my
thing that's
God,
never come
No,
up in
he
a
might
campaign for
die,
me.
though.
Yeah, I don't want
I
him to
could
die.
not live with myself.
If Tyrone
I can
died,
take,
He's just
Sanctuary.
there to like when we have to go into
to
the
me.
dangerous cave and the dungeon and stuff, he sits with our horses.
Oh, then he would be
Well,
like
nothing bad can happen to him there.
Yeah,
be
we
the
know
bad
that the
boy.
horses
Be a
are
monster.
safe.
Would
It's one
Tyrone
cognizant
make
die.
good turtle soup? It's hard to say.
No.
what? It would be turtle soup in that it's soup that a turtle made, but he wouldn't make turtle soup with
Correct.
turtles in it.
No, someone would make him into turtle soup, I think was the
Oh.
implication.
Oh, actually, you know
Oh,
what?
okay.
Yeah, that's fine. We do that. We toss Grobo in. Sounds pretty good to me.
Well,
Well,
okay.
okay, I
You know,
guess
you're
if
selling me
Dallas's
now.
favorite NPC is Eden, then my favorite NPC must be Eden.
Yeah, I think
This
that's
is
only
fair.
fair.
But we have to plant all the beans around this sacred soup.
Right.
I'll make
Yeah.
the soup. Put the beans
we-
in
we-
there.
Ryan's
go
beans
back-
going in.
We go back to the blue fire. We cook it, the stew over the fire.
Over the fire,
Yeah.
planting the last 6 seeds in like cardinal directions, and I don't know where the other 2 go. They can go in the soup, I guess.
Little do we know, this is how we solve all
This is
characters'
gonna be-
problems.
Yeah.
I think we're getting there. Yeah.
I'm
Eloise
pretty
becomes an
sure we
adult.
solve all the problems because we all die.
Just gotta make a
Oh.
magic soup. That's all.
Can't have problems if you got no problems.
That's right.
Can't have
And we
problems
actually
if
have
you're no longer in this plane of existence.
Damn straight.
We have several avenues through which we can make that we're all dead / we destroy the world solution come about. So
Yeah.
we might as well
Good
just
option.
for choice.
pick one of them. Yeah.
The options. It's like a buffet.
Yeah. Yeah, so on our way to the inn, we kind of see like the big arena, which Abe was really interested in checking out. What like was there a reason right from the beginning that you wanted to? I think you mentioned this in game and I forgot, but what was the reason you wanted to go to the arena in the first place?
I mean, character wise, like, could be a good chunk of change that we could make off of it. Nobody knows who we are, but if we put on a good show in the arena, that's some clout. That's some people are going to see that. And just, because I like D&D combat. It's a good time for Adam, normally.
I was gonna ask if like you and Denny had talked about there being an arena here first, or if Denny just knew that you were gonna want one.
How could I
Did you
not?
know?
How could I not have an arena in this city for you, Adam?
Yeah.
You guys, like, when we got to Valenbridge, you were like, hey, where's a place to fight? And I was like, this is an art city. And you're like, oh. I was like, oh, I better have an arena next time.
But it was so specific because Adam had just been talking about it, and then you're like, and here's the arena. And I was like, did you plan this?
I'm just sad that we can't make a joke with the name of this one.
Yeah, fuck you.
It's too unique.
It's It's perfect.
We'll
What
find
was
a
it
way.
called? I need to like write it out. I got a
Prolium.
week to figure out.
I think I can get there pretty easily. I'll come back to it, but because even when we were talking about in game, I had like a tickle of something I think I could have done with it. So I'll let you know.
Don't do it.
No, do it. Do it.
Anywho, so we divide up to do some errands, and then with the plan that we're going to meet back up at the arena afterwards. Guess what? Question corner with me again. I get to finally level up my roleplay, which is me going to get my first tattoo, and I bring Abe along. So what was the significance of me getting a tattoo? I hate this. I was going to send this to Teni, and I'm just like, oh well.
So, Christy, what was the significance of you getting this tattoo? And why did you want to bring Abe along?
Thank you so much. Yeah. I'm glad that you knew what my second question was that I had written down, because I kind of preemptively put it for 2 other people in this after party. I'm just curious whenever anyone like pulls an individual aside for something. I'm like, why they picked that individual? Well, yeah, no, I kind of talked about it a little bit when I was angry at Logan. But Nell does really think that she like fucked up in the Enclave, because everyone's like, you're the leader now, so you need to be acting like it. I'm like, cool. I had more I was gonna say in the moment, and then I got too nervous, and why is everyone laughing? Why are you laughing?
You're the leader now.
Cool.
Well, Gideon, didn't you straight up be like, Nell, you're the leader? We looked.
I
I
said,
don't know why you told her that.
Like,
I
I'm gonna say,
I
I don't view
see
you as the leader.
I also don't view
said-
you as the leader.
Okay, good. Then you
hold on,
shouldn't.
hold
Some
on,
people did.
hold on. I said that I view Nell as the person in charge, and I said when people get emotional, they turn to Nell, which they do.
Hey, person in charge.
Is a
seems like
leader.
pretty much a leader.
That's synonymous for leader.
Liz, stop going to Nell with all your problems.
I don't go to Nell
I
with
went
my
to you
problems.
last time.
I know you went to me. That's fair. That's the first stop.
Yeah.
I let my problems boil inside and I repress them.
Yeah, that's really healthy.
I
Yeah,
have boss
600
fights
years,
with my
here I am.
problems.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Okay, well then I guess Nell is fucking stupid and has no idea what's going on.
It's
but
not your fault. He
No,
did
it's
call
not
you a leader.
unfounded.
Gideon's
I did.
fault.
I did call you a leader.
Drac has also indicated that, like, you have said wise things to him in moments of strife, and he does view you as not necessarily the leader, but definitely a leader.
Yeah. At the end of the day,
Well-
we're kind of like a democracy, you know.
Yeah, well, I mean, okay, I'm not.
But like, you're definitely a strong force in the group. That is
Like the prime minister, maybe like a MP.
yeah. You're not like
Senator Nell.
you're not the dictator, you know, but you're
Oh
the something else. The I don't know, the mayor.
Nominate,
Nell is definitely the face.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's where we get this confused. Yeah. You're
Yeah.
the most charismatic of the group.
Well, then Abe's coming for
Mechanically
it,
speaking.
so it doesn't even matter anymore. So I'll just take a back seat.
Abe's got
So
gravitas.
I'll beat you in the arena,
Mhm.
and then I'll beat you in the charisma.
Wow, cool.
Oh.
Wow,
Whoa.
everyone's
coming for
shitting
the
on me,
whitish
so I'm
inversions.
actually thank everyone so much for coming. We're done. Yeah.
Also,
Well,
sorry.
No, go ahead.
To jump back to that,
Mhm.
that conversation that we had did get interrupted.
it did. Yeah, it did.
And I was like, we have to rain check that because there's gonna be some misconstruing, which there now has been.
Great. Well,
But I
I'll
still
leave
want to
that
hear
one
more
up to
about
you.
Nell's tattoo.
Nell's tattoo is fucking sick, and I think it's such a cool decision with a paladin.
Anyway, yeah. Everyone's just like, we just had such a weird fight about that just now. When the second half of what I was gonna say is that like Nell's never wanted to have anything to do with being a leader at all. Like, and I was going to talk about that more in game, but I got nervous and I had a whole thing written out, and I was like trying to be like Adam, where you had a beautiful monologue, and I was like, I'll write something too. And then I get too nervous to read them out, so I just skipped most of it.
Oh.
But the whole thing was that even if I'm not actually seen as a leader by anyone else in this group, like there are moments where I feel like she is required to like step up a bit more than she really is comfortable with. So I was viewing the tattoo as like a kind of like a symbol of having like taking that oath to like my family, specifically to my sister, and to the party as well, of just kind of being like no more goofs, kind of, but like just like wanting to like really support everyone to the best of my ability, and also since the failed ceremony, I've been wearing like a woven leather bracelet that was my sister's, and so that was part of it. Like I was taking that off and replacing it with the tattoo that is the oath, to be like time to put away childish things and dreams for now and like step up and be professional. And I think that's everything. And then yeah, why did I bring Abe? One, because I wanted to include Adam, because I don't always know if you want to be like the person that's like calling on people to have moments with. But also like it was kind of like I felt like there was a parallel between like everything that you did with the ritual to get rid of all the Maladin stuff and kind of like forge a path that feels like wholly yours. So I guess like mine almost felt like the other side of that, of like having like kind of a significant ceremony, but perhaps like putting aside kind of my own wishes and things. So yeah.
Oh, that was very cool. It was a really good choice.
Yeah. It's actually funny too, because I haven't actually said it in game to anyone else. So we're just like at the pub and just like, oh hey, hey guys, just drinking my beer.
Also, the fact that you healed the tattoo with your lay on
So
hands.
so funny. Love that.
Yeah, because I guess I was thinking like, oh, like maybe a magical tattoo, they just have like that built in as part of it. Because like if you could, why wouldn't you? Then I'm like, I can.
Wait, I'm magic.
I do it. What? Oh, I just got nervous again, just explaining all of that. So that's really good.
Aw.
Cool.
That was a great moment.
It was
Don't
very
worry.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks so much. So Adam, you made me so emotional when you were like, I value you as a friend. And then I got too nervous to say anything nice back. I was like, hey, thanks. I don't know. Yeah, anyway, Gideon gets a new gun. It's exciting.
I bought it.
Yeah, I'm
Very
really
cool.
excited to see what you do with that.
I'm gonna shoot someone real good with it.
Yeah, I look forward to it.
Some ones.
Because a shotgun is like my
Yeah.
favorite gun to use in like most video games. So
Oh, it's the best.
Yeah, I should also clarify, Ryan, like I did flavor that thing as like it hit 2 targets, but mechanically you can only hit 1 target with the gun still.
Oh.
It just does a lot of damage. And it's a spread
does
shot
do-
thing.
It does do 2d8, which is pretty neat.
See.
That's a lot. Damn.
There's a lot of damage. And I'm gonna violent shot that bitch.
Yeah, and could you imagine what happens if he crits?
Imagine what
Anything's
happens
dead.
if I actually hit with a violent shot. Oh my god.
Whoa.
what does violent shot do?
It doubles the dice.
Whoa. Wait, so if you crit, what does that mean?
It means that like if I violent shotted with 1 grit point, that would be 48, and then that would be max damage with 48 plus 5.
Oh my god, that's so
And then with
exciting.
sharpshooter
Next
plus
time
10.
we see Snipe.
Tenny's face right now.
I mean,
He's like,
it's
shit.
not it's not even
And then
that.
plus
It'd
cold.
be automatic 32 plus 48 plus 5
Plus 10 for
4.
sharpshooter.
Plus 4 plus a d4 plus 10.
Basically 100 damage.
Yeah,
Basically,
on a single shot.
don't get away from me. Just get
I'm
away from me.
so-
This is how Rhea does damage, by trying to make sure Gideon does damage.
Gideon is becoming a powerhouse.
Zarya with the assist.
Yeah, I am so useful at just helping Gideon.
I just need to be level
Great use
17 so
case.
I can reload as a bonus action. That's all I need now.
Oh, okay.
Simple.
Level 17, yeah,
Can't
sure.
you use one of your attacks to reload? Isn't that a
That,
thing?
that is how it works now, yeah. But
Okay.
like, because I only have 2 attacks, it's like if I were to shoot twice with the blunderbuss, that
Only
would be...
2 attacks?
Yeah.
Boo-hoo.
I would
Must be
kill
so
to have
hard.
2 attacks.
Don't worry, I'll have more later. I need to be level 11, and I'll have 3.
I was worried, so.
I
thank God.
technically have 2 attacks.
And at level 20, I'll have 4. I'm very excited.
Ryan
You
just
couldn't tell.
daydreaming of Gideon just
Ba, 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 ba. Empty all of his clips.
Yep.
I'm
That's the
excited
way.
for you to have like your own kind of like terrifying math moment like I've had a couple of times now.
I
excited.
want to so bad. I've had 1 crit attack in this whole game. All my other crits
Just,
have been like cook checks or some shit like that.
dip into Paladin and Divine Smite.
No, everyone, no, leave me one thing that's mine.
No. I remember a long time ago I was talking about Gideon potentially dipping into Paladin a little bit, but it would have been like a homebrew Paladin thing or something like that. But then I realized I was like, wait, I have like a bajillion feats. Let me just flavor these to be his Soulscar doing things. And then I was like, that just makes so much more sense. So Sharpshooter is just him powering up his bullets with his Soulscar. And, you know, if I take Healer, it'll
Okay.
be him healing with the power of his Soulscar. And et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And cooking will be, I don't know, like maybe he gets some divine inspiration for cooking or some shit. I don't know. I'll figure it
Cooking
out.
is your soul scar gets really sweaty, so it's like adding salt to it.
That's awful, and I don't want to do that.
Like I'm just here to give you some ideas. I don't
You know,
know anything.
I love the creativity, and you know, if this were a different campaign, I'd be like, fucking sign me up for that shit. That's creepy as fuck. But you know what? if
Sure, yeah.
because I want this character to be not creepy, I would like to do the thing normally.
Cool.
Because
You know,
I'm not a DMing a Call of Cthulhu game, so you know I can't be super creepy. You know.
I mean, live your truth, I guess. But have you like in the moment flavored any of your stuff as having to do with the soul scar, or is it like your imagination that it doesn't actually like physically look like anything when it happens?
I have it so like with the violent shot, like the energy from his soul scar runs through his like veins and like out of his hand into whatever he's holding. Basically all the grit point stuff is that. Sharpshooter is now just like it's passively doing that, but then violent shot is just even more exaggerated, where it's like now his whole arm will glow instead of just the veins. And then shit, what else does my soul scar do? I took feats that make me better at shooting people.
You took Gunner and Sharpshooter.
Yeah, I'm
How did you take
amazing.
so many feats. Have we
He's only
leveled up
got-
enough times?
He's only got 2.
2 feats. I got Gunner, Sharpshooter. Gunner I got from feat from
Okay,
a flaw
never
at level 1, and then Sharpshooter I got at level 6 because Fighter gets feat at level 6.
Okay.
Well, they get ASI, but yeah. And basically, level 4, I upped my dex to 20, and I'm just pumping feats from now on out.
So
And I'll get a
jealous.
feat
Sweet.
at 8, I'll get a feat at 12, I'll get a feat at 16, and another level. Yeah. Fighters get a lot of
day.
feats.
18, I think.
I'm not sure. I don't
One day
remember.
I'll have a stat at 20.
But it's okay. I'm probably going to be playing Ambush by the time we hit like level 14. So it'll be fine.
And all of his stats are 20.
And all of his stats are just
Yeah.
a bajillion.
Yeah.
Just 20 across the board. Oh my god.
Am just dusts off his hammer, dusts off his old armor that doesn't fit
Denny
him
actually has the
anymore.
character sheet already made, and Ryan's gonna be handed it, and it's actually just 8.
Trash.
Yeah, make a strength
I'm
check to
so
pick up
old.
your hammer.
Yeah. Oh, Buddy's kept fit, but he's got a big boiler now. That's what he's got. So his old breastplate will not fit. That's
You know, I felt really good about asking Gideon to be the one to help me about this stuff, and I am concerned that you're gonna leave this party and Elwyn's not gonna have someone who knows they need to help her anymore.
Well, that's what you get.
well, that's okay. No,
It's fine, I'll
he-
go
he-
talk to
again,
Abe.
I've told Denny what the moment that Gideon will be like, okay, I'm gonna plan to leave the party will be, and that will be a long while from now. But worry not, Amdus will be a very caring and wonderful spirit.
Okay, I cannot wait to meet my grandpa. It's gonna be great. All right,
Just look up Braum from League
For
of
the
Legends
second
if you
time.
want to get the idea.
will do.
That is precisely what I'm going to go for.
Cool. So we have signed up now to do 2 very public fights in a couple of days. Which I am very excited about. As a group, how do you feel like we're gonna do in the group fight?
Automatons are weird.
Are we doing it? Is that what we picked? We're doing it.
We're gonna be good.
Yeah, we're doing a group fight.
Yeah.
I think we'll do well.
I guess it's hard because we literally did no research on what the other kind of like popular groups are that have fought there before. So
Well, we have a day in town before that. 2 days, I think, before the group fight.
1 day.
Snooping.
For the group fight, we have 2.
No. 2
Well, I
days
don't
for the
know.
group fight.
Is it?
So the
Hey,
current
your fight is
timeline,
first.
you guys
Oh, okay.
know the group fight is second.
That's what he
That's
said.
what I
Their
said.
fight is first.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, the current timeline is like you guys just finished a long rest in Brulbar. The next day is open. You guys are free to do what you want. The day after will be the Abe and Nell fight, and the day after that supposedly is going to be the group fight. But the
Supposedly.
Sunny has to finalize those details.
Cool.
Hmm.
Figure out if I think just by the nature of being our group, if it's going to be like 2 episodes from now that we have the Nell and Abe fight, because I'm trying to figure out like if I need to pull a Jesse or not. I'm just like on the break, put makeup on or something.
We cannot possibly spend an entire day that we have nothing planned on in an entire episode.
Well, we have things we
We
want
have
to
things
do.
that we need to do.
100% think we could.
We have a lot of
think
stuff
we
that we need to
could.
do, so I think it could very easily happen. So anyway, we'll see. Oh yeah, and so then after that before that it's the Abe and Nell fight. I would like everyone to go around right now and just like place a quick bet on who they think is gonna win.
I'm not sure you want me to do that.
No, it's fine. I'm gonna write it down and I'm just gonna see everyone owes me like a real life favor if they vote against me and I win. So I'm just curious. All right, go ahead.
Abe.
Dallas?
Abe.
Okay, yeah,
Mhm.
great. Yeah, sure. Just writing this down.
Honestly, I think Nell might take it. She's got spells.
It's true.
Yeah.
And a no holds
that's cool.
bar fight.
Yeah, I think there's like I think it's a really balanced one. Abe gets 2 attacks. Nell though, a single crit. Just like blast that smite there. It's gonna
That's
be so
true.
much.
my
I did
God,
forget you
Corona-
actually have health now as well.
Yeah, I'm strong now. Wait, actually,
Yes.
Adam, how much health do you have?
Don't tell her.
I can look
Yeah,
at the
don't
D&D
tell
Beyond
her.
if I really want
I
to.
have more than you do,
but not by
much.
as
97.
much now.
I think I have 4 more health than you.
Okay, that's
Oh.
nothing.
That's I
It's a
think
fair fight.
hearing
Pretty
that, I
even
think my
match.
money might be on Nell.
Is that your final answer?
Oh god. No,
You
just
will
because you
not be
said
able
that,
to
it's
change
now
it
on
after
Abe.
All right, I'm writing it down. That's fine. It's fine. Can't wait for my favor. Denny?
Wait, why did you skip Ryan?
You're all so into skipping
It's
people
vengeance
today.
for earlier for Adam.
I don't know. We weren't really going in order.
I think with the HP increase, I think Nell's got this one.
Oh my god, thank you so much. Adding to my list of best friends.
I'm honored.
Benny?
I actually have no idea. I do not know who's gonna win. I
Pop
think
it.
Nell's got a great run in due to the fact that she has spells and a potential surge. But with Adam's, like, the fact he gets 2 attacks, and also if Nell decides to, like, play it at a distance, I believe Adam's speed is better than Nell's too, so he can keep the melee up.
Only by 5. Like
But
only by 5 feet.
that's
There's
but,
actually
still-
not that much I can do at a distance anyways. Like, not with the amount of spell slots I have. It would be like, have to be like a last minute attempt, I think. But
Adam, who do you think is going to win?
It's a dice game. Is the answer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because if I get crit once, I could take
Yeah.
most of my health in one attack.
Yeah.
If I have a good opener with fighting spirit and action surge, I can't, unless I rolled a crit and did really well on damage dice, I can't kill Nell in 1 round. But I could do a lot
but
of
not
damage.
for lack of trying. Yeah.
No, exactly. Yeah. I think I did the math, and if I roll minimum damage dice, it will take me 8 attacks to kill Nell.
You hear that? He's plotting.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
seems
actually
so.
this is part of why my money's on Adam, though.
I actually like
Yeah.
went and like while we were talking about something before, like wrote another thing down here being like and then he wrote, I might be so fucked because Adam is strategic and I am not. Because I was literally about to say like,
Yeah.
oh, I fell asleep the other night thinking of some of the stuff I could do, like in terms of spells and stuff, but I'm not on the level of being like calculating like how many turns. So
Well, what's-
my personal vote is that it's likely going to be Abe unless I have a magic surge and actually kill us both.
well, you know,
In
I
which
think
case,
this
I feel
is-
like I win because it was my fault. So-
this is really funny because in my head this is kind of like, you know, a Captain America versus Iron Man fight.
Ooh, which one is who? Well, I
Abe
guess
is
you're Iron
Captain
Man. 'cause you're-
No, he's actually
No, you're Iron Man.
Why am I Iron Man?
because
I'm
you
just a
have
dude
laser
with a
beams
shield.
and shit.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dave's
you
just
have all
got
the magic,
just
and
got-
he's just
Okay, sure.
You have
think
the
of-
technology, so to
Yeah.
say.
Hmm.
I think if Abe pulls some kind of stuff like he did on Sarze, then you could really take advantage of Nell's weaker strength.
I think in the spirit of the competition, I probably won't do any
Fair.
grappling.
Do what you need to do.
You
It's
just
fine.
disarm her of her sword, though.
Please don't. Don't. You can do what you need to do, but don't do that one.
disarm her with a sword, pin her down, and then just it's the Iron
Just
Man.
elbow.
It's
Just
so annoying
keep punching
because
each other to death.
I didn't think about like oh, maybe there's something I can ask Teddy if he'll be nice because I waited so long to do my level up. If I could change my spells, because I didn't change my spells at all because I wasn't thinking about it because the thing was so delayed.
Paladins just prepare spells?
Yes, but there's a potential I think on a level up I could change my sorcerer ones.
Oh yeah, that's
A
fine.
spell.
It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, you.
Fuck yeah.
It hasn't even been a day after you've gone through your level up, so
And to be fair, I technically did not use, other than like a higher maybe spell slot or something, I didn't actually use any of my paladin things during the fight with Sarze.
I mean, it's so little. Everybody out there in the Dicely universe, you know how I feel about known spells. I will actively go against them. So yes, Christy, you can change your spell. Because fuck
I'm gonna
known
remember
spells.
this. I'll remember these.
Okay,
Denny
good.
hates
Yeah.
known
I
spells.
I'm gonna start
despise
doing
them.
some looking into
It's-
now of like what
It's
I
the
can do.
main reason I hate sorcerers and bards. I cannot stand known spells.
Then he just wants to know every spell in the game.
I just want the the potential versatility.
Yeah.
I
Instead
just
of
want to
being
have the cake, eat the cake, and I want to bake the cake. I
'Cause,
want
you know,
sometimes
not-
with the
You
whole
don't get the
shebang.
cake.
because some
Well,
you know
because like even
prepare
then,
the
it's like
cake.
it's a crapshoot if you're preparing spells. Because like having played like a higher level wizard in our home game, like you don't really know what you're gonna get into that day, so you're just kind of taking your best guess, especially at
But-
lower levels. Like, so
even wizards have the option to change spells if they found scrolls and put them into their book. Whereas with
Yeah.
sorcerer, it's like, you know, not every day is a fireball day. Sometimes it's a travel day.
Yeah.
well, that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying though. It's like I'm saying it on the side of like people who might say it's like overpowered or something. Like it's not, because you prep at the beginning of the day, so you don't know like what's gonna happen. Because I've had it so many times. Every time I don't stock Featherfall, I end up needing it. So now I just always have it because it's like insurance.
Yeah, knowing
So.
spells is a rough system.
Cool. Well,
I do
have
want to
some-
clarify because
Yeah, I was gonna
Jonimus
say, I'm
thinks
gonna come talk to you.
because Jonimus is thinking that I meant you could change all of your spells. No, I'm fine with being flexible about the change because, you know, the fact that it's only every level up, like maybe you.
'Cause I feel like I put a lot of thought into trying to switch out my spells on a level up.
like I've even allowed Drac to change out a
Yeah.
cantrip during,
Yeah.
which that is not a thing you can do
Ooh.
normally. I am flexible to work with you guys if you're not
Yeah.
happy with the tools you currently operate with. So
I think the way you did it was great.
we made it.
It created a
roleplay.
really cool roleplay moment later on when I did my level up. Price must be paid. I struck myself with lightning.
To clarify that, Denny, what sorcerer spells am I allowed to change?
We can talk about that.
Okay. Great.
It's just like, I'm doing this right now.
No, I'm literally like itching now to like pull up my spell cards. I have them all on my desk right now. I'm just like, ooh, just gonna grab them. But anyways,
Just out of curiosity, what's the final tally?
so for you, it's Dallas and Logan. For me, it's Anthony and Ryan. Denny copped out. I think it's gonna be you or I kill us both, and you also think it's gonna be you, probably. I think.
Oh, no,
I don't know if you
I'm
said you weren't really sure.
agnostic.
Yeah. So
He says the
you and
dice
Denny
will win.
are
Yeah.
popping out. Yeah. Actually, if on the dice thing, I do think it has a better chance of being you, because I feel like you have like more kind of like solid rolls a lot of the time than I do. Like I feel like mine err on the all or nothing kind of scheme. So we'll see.
The big thing is you have shield,
I do.
which means
Yeah.
effectively your AC is what, 23,
I don't know.
22,
Yeah.
something like that. So,
How many spell slots
You just gotta keep
does
doing
Mel
that though.
have?
Yeah.
Let me.
6 at this point.
so whatever it is, I think it's going to be fast.
Yeah.
I think at like 4 or 5 rounds, depending on how far apart we are at the start.
I have 9 spell slots.
Oh,
That's 4 for shield and 5 to smite.
yeah. I was like, now knowing that. Oh.
Yikes. Huh.
Also, Jonimus just wanted me to remind that he has a bet for Abe.
Oh, nice. Nice. Thank you.
Oh, we were friends. Oh my god. Okay, well. All right. It's fine. I'm gonna I have what? 5 days to get, or 6 days to get really good at just being strategic, so no problem.
What I'm hearing is strategy board game night. It's like a training montage for Christy.
Like some Warhammer.
Oh, God.
Hell yeah.
no. No, I'm just gonna keep playing Breath of the Wild, where I have no strategy other than hit hard. All right. Well, I know where my true friends lie. So with that, what is everyone looking forward to the most while we're here in Brulbar? Just looking forward to the next
So
session.
many things, though.
Pick one, Ryan. You get one.
Let's start with
You can
Denny.
have one of mine because I don't know.
Denny, what are you most interested for Brulbar? Like, what's
Yeah.
something that you worked on that seems like super cool, you know?
What's the biggest
What should
secret
we
in the
do?
city that you would want us to interact with, but don't want to tell us about?
Just something, like, you don't have to spoil anything, but just something that, like, you're proud of the city.
I'm proud of the whole damn city. Have you seen the
Sure.
thing?
Yeah.
Give me a moment as I bring up this freaking map here.
Oh, please.
I like how we're like, yeah, like whatever you're proud of. It's like all of it,
Like,
and well justified.
man, this thing
Yeah.
is huge.
Yeah, and beautiful.
It is really beautiful.
If this was a poster, I'd happily put it behind me on my.
Oh,
I-
honestly,
yeah.
same.
I think I very well might like posterize it. Like,
Ooh.
there's so much freaking time went into this dang thing. Like,
Yeah.
I
Did a
love
great job.
I love the brushes that this person created. Like, there's so many distinct like building shapes, and I did some artwork like the tents in the middle of that crossing area there. Like I did all the tree shading and coloring in, like the lakes,
Wow.
like all the little trails. Like, oh, there's just I get lost in this map myself.
I love that. I want it to be a video game. I just want to get dropped in and get to like wander around.
And,
I
like-
feel like Brulbar could be a whole campaign. Like, you could just set a campaign in that city the same way like people do in like Waterdeep and stuff.
Mhm.
Be like Dragon Age 2.
Yeah.
It very well
Anyone else
could
play
be.
those, but yeah.
To answer John and Mrs. question, are you going to sell this as a print for Dicely merch? I got to figure out Dicely merch. We don't have
Dicely merch.
Oh, getting that on a mug would be awesome.
That would be
I
so
love
awesome.
mugs.
Ooh, yes, I
That'd
do.
be
Yeah.
impossible. That'd be a big ass
It'd be
mug.
your whole,
It'd be like
and
a
this,
soup cup.
This is a massive mug. Yeah, like a
Yes.
soup
A
mug.
mug.
There you go.
Oh,
Giant
barrel,
water
really.
bottle. We need a Grobo T-shirt.
Yeah.
We need the
A
Ice Fortress of
Grobo
Winning.
plush.
No, like a Robo hat.
Oh,
A little mushroom
Mushroom
cap.
hat. Because I just want
Ooh,
one for me
A
in real life.
mouse mat. That'd be interesting.
Ooh, that would be a good.
Ooh, especially the one you have,
mouse mat.
Anthony. That's massive.
Yeah.
Like it's your whole desk.
I got big one too.
I would love this map as a mouse mat. Are you kidding me? I'd just be like, eh.
You're like working, just be like, oh, that's cool.
There's always a chance the company that I use to do like the printout of the map
Yeah.
might do like a similar thing. I
Grobo plushie.
could look at it. Because that'd be really cool to like do something like that. I guess technically you could kind of use like the canvas printout. Yeah, I guess it's not really the same, but anyway.
Oh, we could just use like the Dicely, like, you know, the logo with all the characters standing in front of it. That'd be another phenomenal mousepad.
Oh, what are you guys? We're just getting merch ideas at this point.
Jam,
geez.
Danny.
So excited.
A giant duck
giant
with a
duck
saddle on it.
that's
Oh,
such
Yes.
a cute idea.
The
Yes.
duck nut has
With
returned.
Grobo astride upon it.
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie. If at any point we had merch and it, like related to like our individual characters, I would start crying in real life.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Whew.
crazy.
Shame.
Yeah.
But continuing on with what is everybody specifically excited for?
I'm really excited to talk to Charity
Mhm.
and Hillipro. Very excited
Yeah.
for that.
I
'Cause
never
it's
did
like
respond. Sorry, go
Yikers
ahead.
bikers for everybody. Hillipro for the event. Charity probably for the event. It's just and for everything. Like Charity's gonna know so much shit, and it's gonna be ridiculous.
Hopefully.
Is
Hopefully.
Charity a wizard?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I never responded in the group chat, but I also want to talk to Charity because I want to talk about time magic and wizards as well. So
However that chat with Charity goes, it's gonna be huge, regardless. Like if
That's what I'm
Charity
saying,
doesn't
if
know
we-
Assuming
anything,
that she'll even
That's
talk
huge.
with
I know
us.
it's so like hard.
that's also true. Assuming she'll talk with
yeah.
us at all. Who the fuck are these low level
Like, I'm
adventurers?
hoping to be
Maybe
able to
you, though,
use my
Gideon.
position in the school.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
maybe.
thinking.
Yeah.
I'm like, hopefully, like I've really been banking on the next episode that Azaria can get us in to talk to people. 'Cause otherwise, I don't know. We're fucked. I'm just gonna wander around this massive city until I find Arthur Pendrack or his tombstone, I guess. I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, hey,
Everyone
Drac could talk to him.
find his
A
skull.
little casual grave robbing in the middle of a city.
Hey, here we
Nope.
go.
Is it
I'll
really
cast
illegal if it
invisibility.
saves the
We got
world?
this, kids.
Remember when we said morally gray was what we were hoping for? Here's that gray.
There's that opportunity.
I see nothing wrong with it.
I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm saying it's probably illegal.
That's why we cast
Should just
invisibility.
be smart
Oh,
about
nice.
it. Yeah.
Drac doesn't know
Plant
the laws
the
of this
beams
place.
around us first to create distractions in the city.
Here we go.
And before we start the zombie apocalypse with a magic bean.
Yep.
Oops,
That's
we were
about
just trying to dig up some dead guy. We didn't mean to do that.
I didn't know this was not allowed.
What about you, Adam? What are you most excited for in Brulbar?
The event of the decade. North of hell and
that?
south of heaven. In the Prolium.
On the stage of history.
The Phoenix
Yes,
versus the
that's
Beast
right.
Slayer.
Daddy, can you
Or-
have the announcer say some dumb, like, Soul Calibur line, please?
Yeah! 2 souls, 2 swords.
I like how Adam's just really excited to kick my ass.
Yeah.
I have no idea what's going to happen.
Traveled all the way from Starcross to Brulbar just to kick Nell's ass.
Oh my
That's also
god.
his character
2
story.
Star-crossed
The whole
souls.
I think either way, at the end of it, we'll just be best friends because that's what you do, right?
I
You
think
just
so, yeah.
beat the shit out of each other.
You don't really know someone until you've punched their face in, so.
Yeah.
Just for the record, when we were talking about sparring with each other, I
Mhm.
didn't think we would actually be killing each other.
No, me neither. I fully thought,
So-
and I think that came up at the end because we were like talking like, oh, you can just go rent a thing, and we're like, sure, and they're like, wait, how would this work if it's not magically protected? And we realized we didn't really know because I feel like I can't just punch you. You know?
We could use like wooden swords or something.
Well, it's too fucking late. Now it's the whole city's business.
Yeah.
We're going all out. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Did everyone answer the thing about Brulbar?
You
Nope.
got like half
Logan,
the
you're
group.
next.
I was expecting you to just jump straight to Anthony.
I'm not paying attention anymore. I
I don't
have
know if
spells
there's
to look
any.
at.
I actually don't think there's too much like for Rhea. Like me, I'm like, I want to explore the whole map because similar to Christy, I play a game and I'm like, ooh, there's all these things here. But I think for Rhea, there's not a lot. I want to talk to Charity if possible, or at least someone in the like in charge of the university. But that's about it. I kind of want to leave as soon as we can.
Oh,
I
I
think
know
that we
that's
have
like
things to do.
I know everyone like a lot of people are feeling that way. I have such a hard time with it. I don't want to leave. I have so much to do.
Ryan, the player, wants to explore the shit out of Brulbar.
Yeah.
Yeah, Logan the player, I'm like, oh, there's so many things here. There's got to be something interesting here and there. And
Literally in that first big city in The Witcher 3, me going to every single building just to fucking open one chest and find a piece of bread and be like, well, that was worth it. To the next one. It's just like, I can't get past that part of the game because I just get bored and I leave. But yet I won't not look at everyone. I have to know. So.
yeah, because one of those chests might have the super legendary, awesome thing we need.
Yeah. Who's to say? Could be anything.
Could find the
somewhere
left
in
hand
this
of the
city.
hero.
Somewhere in this city, there could be like a flame tongue just waiting for us. But if we don't check everything, we'll never know.
That's correct. I mean, after this like a couple little discussions ago, I'm now excited for the arena fight for the announcer to start speaking like a Soul Calibur man. I want him to be like transcending history in the world, a tale of souls and swords, eternally retold. I want the whole narration to be that.
No pressure, Denny.
No pressure.
Yeah, no pressure.
Fate conspired to arrange their battle.
I'll be listening to voice tracks.
Oh, dude, I love Soul Calibur so much. It's got a special place in my heart.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Anthony, what's your Brulbar thing?
So big city isn't exactly Drax's like favorite place to be, but I think he's going to take this opportunity to try to learn some things about the history of this other realm that exists outside of his home. So he's going to do some sightseeing. Looking forward to that. And I want to use those teleportation towers because that's fucking dope.
Yeah, I'm really
hope I
hoping for
can
that
get
too.
everyone into that because
It's gonna be real awkward. If you can't.
there's a chance only 3 of us can use them.
But maybe it's like each of you with a +1.
Yeah, it's like a wedding, right?
Oh, is it you? I guess I'm I'm the third one.
You're the third one.
Yep. It's like, yeah, it's fine. I'll
If
walk.
anything, Nell is Rhea's +1.
That's why, honestly, that's why I didn't include myself in
Yeah, you have a card.
that's true.
I think you're on the same. Isn't
You're the
I
same
only
level
one who?
I am.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
I'm the only one who's
I am?
an
Yeah.
upper level.
Wow.
Okay, calm down.
Con my way into a university position, just like real world professors.
Hell yeah.
Got it.
Just that easy.
I also think you care more about it than I do, so that's a fair.
Me? Yeah, absolutely.
No, well, I meant Nell, but you also.
Yeah, Nell wouldn't care about it in a way like I feel better than you about it. Like I feel like I'm better. Like it's more just like she's excited because she wants that for her future. Me is just feeling a little sassy. That's all. So as you do. Cool. I don't have any other questions. Does anyone else have anything?
What is Dallas most excited to see in the city?
No, I think I'm on the same page with Rhea, where I'm not sure there is like much here for Elowin necessarily. Again, Dallas, they're excited to like wander around the city and see what's up here, but I don't know what Elowin really needs out of this. But I'm also like not super stoked to move forward. I don't know. Elowin's in a bad spot. I'm afraid of
that's fair.
everything that we could possibly do.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. But you just have to take the first step, and I think all these things are just going to happen to you. So, if that's is that like a consolation?
I don't know.
Okay.
Is it just gonna happen? Okay.
Well, in a way, you could be like, well, it's what I guess it's the same theory that people have like when they get on an airplane. They're like, I'm not anxious because what could I possibly do to make this any different? You know. I personally am not like that because I'm anxious about everything. I'm like, oh, I sneezed the wrong way and now the plane's going down.
Yeah.
Just imagine if planes worked like that.
It's not just like the plane works but it's like the universe just decides to work like that one day. And I'm like, oh.
That would be like if you were actually a wild magic sorcerer.
Oh God. No.
I think there'd be laws about them being allowed on planes.
Probably.
Yeah, that would make sense. Well,
Question for Ryan. How you feeling that you got to talk to Monty? You kind of touched on it before, but we didn't really get into it.
I'm very happy that he is alive. Because like when I constructed Gideon's backstory and then as I developed him more, I was like, everything he believes could be false. Like everyone could literally be dead, and he just wouldn't know. So knowing that he is in fact still breathing, and that sending to him, and using his like real name, managed to communicate with him. I'm like, okay,
It's hard to fake a sending spell.
yeah, Monty is in fact still Monty, and is not someone posing as Monty. You know. He's not like a shape changer. So I'm like, okay, I'm happy he's still alive. And then Teni, even though you only played him for like a couple of sentences, you absolutely nailed my image of Monty. Yeah, I'm so happy he's okay. Oh, I mean, okay is one thing. Alive is another thing. We'll see how he's doing when we learn more about his situation. But one thing at a time. Hooray, he's breathing. But yeah, Gideon, of course, is terrified that he's looped in with all this bullshit that Mithril Code is spewing. He certainly doesn't want to have to fight his best friend. That would be a horror story for him. Especially seeing as he's basically given up on his family, despite Drax saying not to. He's still kind of like, I don't know what to tell you, Drax. Like, that sort of thing.
but don't worry. Fighting your best friend is how we become better friends. We just established this, so.
It's canon.
Yeah, I just, Gideon doesn't want to have to put Monty in the dirt, He doesn't want to have to do that. Because in a fist fight, Gideon would lose to Monty. That's just a fact. Monty would pick him up and just bop, and he would be done. Because Monty's a brick shithouse. So, he's this big, tall man with big arms. He would crush Gideon. So I don't want to have to fight him.
Fair. Well,
I was so
same.
happy that Monty was alive.
Mhm.
I was very
Yeah.
concerned.
Yeah.
Do you still have? Are you still holding on to your gold for him? I feel like I came up, but I forgot.
I spent it on the gun.
Right.
So I was like, this adventuring business has been pretty profitable so far for us. It's like, okay, we can probably come across more gold as soon as we help
Win a
somebody else
fight.
out.
Yeah.
And now Monty can have the business end of a blunderbuss.
That's right.
There you go. You think you're so big and strong with your huge arms? Take this. Kablam.
Yeah, but when we
Come on.
find out he's part of the big bad evil cult,
Yep, and then I'll be sad again.
No.
Sharpshooter,
you'll
vicious
need
shot.
to put Monty down.
100
No.
damage to Monty.
I believe it's not gonna happen.
Gideon's life is a tragedy. I've accepted it. I wrote him this way. I know what I did.
What about Anthony? How are you
Yeah.
talking with your mama?
Oh, I was so happy. She spoke to me. It was nice. It made me very happy, emotional. Which is the best kind of emotional. But, yeah. It's nice to hear the old Silver Tongue's voice again.
Yeah, that was a crazy detail. I don't think any one of us knew that she hasn't spoken
Denny
in
brought
2
it up.
years.
Yeah.
I think it went totally over my head in it.
Yeah,
So.
I kind of went over my head for a second,
It-
too.
I only brought it up because I was like, it just dawned on me in that moment. I was
Yeah.
like, I don't know if you were thinking about what I was thinking about, which I clearly understand now you didn't, but I was like, this is too important for me not to say out loud.
I'm glad you did. Because that's definitely going to, impact Drax's kind of next few days. Just a general demeanor shift, I guess. But yeah, it's very, very hopeful.
Speaking of hope, Christy, do you mind if I end with the fun question for today's session? Unless you have one.
I don't. I was actually just gonna blow right past it and wrap this whole bad boy up, but that's fine. What you gotta do.
Fantastic. Here's the fun question for today. Do you think
No,
at the end of your next long rest that Grobo will still be with you?
not at all.
I hope not.
I
You're
hope so.
a bad person, Dallas.
In fact, I'm counting and hoping that he won't be there.
Oh,
So,
he
ooh, but if
better
he
be
is there, my first
gonna be
attack
so sad
on
if
Abe
he's
is me
not.
whipping Grobo at your face.
No, you
Light
have
him on
given him to
fire?
my care. He now lives with me. He is my son now.
Lives in Rhea's hair.
Yeah,
Well,
lives in my
it's gonna be
vine
too bad
forest.
when you have nothing in your hair tomorrow. So
If he disappears, it's the start of Rhea's villain arc.
Hope you're ready to have that on your shoulders, Denny.
mm.
Ugh.
But yeah,
Well-
I hope he's still there. I don't think he will be. But
It could not possibly be a permanent thing, right?
No,
Right?
I did get scared though because something like a
Plans
wild
could
magic thingy
change.
happened on Critical Role and like a few episodes ago. That was like they had to cast a different spell to make it go away, and I was like,
Yeah, I think there are permanent things.
Okay.
not a fan. I don't want the responsibility.
It has lasted too long already.
I know. I thought it'd be like an hour and then be gone.
Oh wait, that's exactly. I was like, maybe it'll disappear after an hour. It's still here now. I'm getting
Still there.
concerned.
Yeah.
Just
watch
a
him,
Robo.
friend.
watch him
The
live for like a
best.
week. Just when you
Just
think
enough
he's
time to
there
get attached.
forever,
Yeah.
just enough time to get attached. and
already
then he just-
attached.
Yeah.
It's too late.
Just bloops
It's so-
away.
It's so funny because I feel like in another campaign I'd be like, yeah, familiar. I like that's like what I would always want, and like what I have and other things. Just not feeling his vibe. I had too many things to do that day, so we didn't have a good first bonding moment. So it's all over now.
Yeah, I think it's the same thing where it's like I get like Elwyn emotions and Dallas emotions mixed up sometimes. Because I think Dallas is into this stupid mushroom.
Yeah, sure. He seems like just like a jolly little dude.
Yeah,
Great.
Yeah,
So
it's just a
happy.
happy little lad.
yeah. And for some reason, I think Elwyn doesn't love the idea of a little baby creature existing around us. I think that's maybe
That's
Elwyn's
fair,
not
okay.
favorite thing.
Yeah, because it's like too similar to you.
Leave, goodbye.
I don't think that's it.
If anything, I feel like you could just all of a sudden like get to be a mother to my creepy
Not
mushroom child.
No. No.
Oh my god. Oh, we should
It
put
takes a
Grobo in the
village to
Bjorn.
raise a Grobo.
Not.
We
To
put
grow a
in the Bjorn.
Grobo.
Grow a Grobo.
Wait, what do you want to do with Grobo?
Put him in the Bjorn.
Oh, the Bjorn. I thought you were
Sure.
saying in the orb. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, the orb.
In the palace.
Cool. Well, I guess tune in.
Wait, Ryan and Adam didn't answer.
Guys, I can't keep it.
I don't think he's gonna be there.
I think that he will be gone within the week.
Good.
Within the week? It's way too long. That's too long.
I am prepared to
Leave
be
it in
the
an
villain in
orphanage.
either case.
Either way, half the party hates you.
Yeah. Hey, this isn't my fault. This was purely dice.
I was gonna say it was me. I was like, all right.
This is
If
all
Purely-
Christy.
he disappears, Rhea's life goal will be figuring out how to make Nell's chaos magic bring him back.
If anything, that means that you'd be more willing to go to the Wilder right away, which is kind of what I want. So, works out. Death to Grobo.
Go into the under earth and just find another random Myconid and just abduct it.
Yes, steal it from its family.
Oh my
I said
Robo
villain
too.
arc.
Oh, fucked up. I guess after Grobo disappears, I'd kind of be curious to see like what the description of it was on the table.
Mm-hmm.
I don't read them. So.
It could happen again. We could get Grobo back.
But then I would
Well-
know, so it doesn't matter.
So we for Nell, we have the wild magic sorcerer table, and then we also have a table I've assembled with non-damaging things. Grobo is from that table, which you do not have access to.
Yeah,
Which is
I wouldn't
fun.
want to have access to it anyway. So, I'm just saying, I'd just be curious to see how you worded it on that table, but you don't have to share it.
I mean, I didn't create all of the effects. Like, I only had to create a few. I borrowed a lot from Wild Magic Surge, I believe is the name of the Twitter user. But they've created a lot. So the 80 that I picked, you'll be tough to figure out which ones I specifically added to the table I did.
I don't really have good luck with trying to figure out like where you get things from, because you told me that Reynard was from one of the Kobold Press books. I looked through like the one you said it was. Couldn't find it.
I was wrong.
Pretty sure it was a different one. So
Yeah.
Oh well. Okay, I'm gonna wrap it up unless. Nope, we're good. Okay. So yeah, thank you so much everyone for hanging out with us as we discussed everything to do with the past 2 episodes, and how much we love and hate Grobo, how I'm not actually a leader, all the fun things. If you have any questions about Play Dicely that you'd like us to answer in the future, you can send them to me on Twitter at CBKClo, or you can email them to me at cbkclo@gmail.com. And yeah, that's all for us. I invite you to tune in next week this Sunday, actually. Oh my God, where are we in this timeline? Tune in this Sunday for the episode that I'm preemptively naming Grobo's Funeral. Thank you so much for hanging out, and we'll see you then. Bye, everyone.
All right, that's the name of the next episode. See yous.
How could you?
Bye.